It always tastes like under my fingernails in every food I eat. This is UpperDeckerBeard dinner date. And if you don't know what an upper decker is, I guess we're all gonna find out together, huh? So I've been watching Reddx for many years and lurking on this sub for a few months now, and I never thought I'd have a story worthy of posting here, but life has a way of absolutely blindsiding you with the worst possible human being at the worst possible time. Yeah, I sort of lived that out. I know exactly what you're talking about. Opie says, buckle up because this is a long one and it gets so much worse than you think it will. I mean, we got some hints from the title already. I promise you, whatever you're imagining right now, multiply it by 1,000 and add a smell. It's so good. It's so good. After Spooky on Monday and Nice Guys on Tuesday, I'm finally remembering like what an actual sentence looks like. That's all it takes for me to like it at this point. Some background on me. I'm Danny. Hi, Danny. I'm 27. I'm gay. I live alone in a mid-sized city in the Midwest, and I work at a pretty chill craft brewery. Oh, do you wear like a beanie and a lumberjack shirt? Because that would be really cool, I think. That would send it over the top. We only play music on iPods here. The Zoomers are like, what's an iPod? No, they probably remember. Anyway, Danny says, I'm not like a model or anything, but I take care of myself. I shower daily. This is going to be a relevant detail later. Trust me. I go to the gym a few times a week, and I have a healthy relationship with basic hygiene. I hope Reddx hasn't dug into me yet, because I say all of this not to brag, but to establish a baseline of normalcy so you understand the absolute chasm between my world and the world that I was about to step into. The bottom's just gonna fall out on this fucking thing. I love it. Like I said, I haven't dug into you at all so far. It's only been a couple of paragraphs, and also you make sentences well. So I think that goes a long way in deciding whether I'm bored with the story or not. This one seems like it's gonna have tons of twists and turns. All you're doing is building anticipation for me. OP says, like a lot of gay dudes, I'm on Grindr. And if you don't know what Grindr is, first of all, bless your innocent heart. It's basically a hookup/dating app for men who like men. Yeah, mostly hookups from what I hear, but I don't know nothing about that. It's about as classy as you'd expect. You see a lot of things on there. Oh, I'm sure. Unsolicited pics, guys who open with looking at 3 a.m., blank profiles that message you like they're the CIA. Yeah, those are the married guys. And torso pics that are clearly from 2012, bios that just say, no fats, no femmes, like that's their whole personality, which, to be fair, OP, it probably mostly is. Married dudes whose profile picture's their dog because they think that provides plausible deniability. It's a jungle out there, is what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm so glad. No dating apps, straight or gay. I'm set. I don't have to do this shit anymore. But it is the jungle that we've got, you know, and sometimes you meet a normal person in the jungle and go on a nice date and everything's pretty fine. And other times, the jungle introduces you to a man who will haunt your waking nightmares for months. I'll let you guess which one happened to me. I'm so sorry that happened. You probably did have some nice dates in there too, or this was just like the first time you did it and you regret everything. I guess we'll find out. Opie says, I thought I had seen the worst that Grindr had to offer. I was a fool. A sweet summer fool.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
So about 3 months ago, I matched with this dude. His profile name was Gentle Sir Seeks More, and honestly, that should have been red flag number 1. Red flag number 1 through 10, actually, probably, but I don't know, his profile pictures were like, okay, Like, clearly filtered to hell and back. We're talking beauty mode cranked to maximum. The kind of smoothing that makes your skin look like a fresh stick of butter. Yeah, we see it a lot on the internet these days. But the general shape of a person was there. He said he was 30, into anime, gaming, and intellectual conversation. Yeah, already. That's red flags, what, 11 through 50 right there? I'm trying to keep track. He says, I know, but listen, I just got out of a thing with a dude who ghosted me after 3 months, and my self-esteem was pretty much in the toilet. Not that toilet. We'll get there. The upper decker toilet? Where's that located? I was lonely, okay? Loneliness makes you dumb. It makes you swipe right on profiles that your sober, well-rested brain would run screaming from. So, yeah, I swiped. And he messaged me almost immediately. Is that red flags 51 through 60? Just the whiff of desperation? Gentle Sir Seeks More says, greetings! I must say your profile is quite refreshing. Most guys on here are so vapid, but you seem like someone capable of actual discourse. 3. Oh, he did that face, did he? He didn't get the message that it's not 2010 anymore. Did he? And yeah, all the other stuff he says is really weird too, but I'm like laser focused in on that emoji. Are you using that unironically? I don't want to ask. I don't need an answer. He says, now look, I get it. Reading that now, every alarm bell in the world should have been going off. But at the time, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of sweet. He's a little formal, but maybe he's just nervous. Danny, you absolute walnut! Yeah, is that what I'm supposed to say? No, Danny, it's a trap. He's far too eloquent. I don't know. I don't think I'd ghost somebody over that introduction necessarily. It's a little red flaggy. A little enjoys the smell of his own farts, but I might give him a chance too. I don't know. So we chatted for about a week, and I'm going to be real with you. The conversation was not terrible. Like, it was weird. He had this way of talking that was like a thesaurus had a baby with a manga subtitle. Everything was overly formal and peppered with words that nobody uses in actual human conversation. Yes, I'll just don my coat. Nobody says that. It's like one of the shortest words that nobody says. He would say things to me like, I find your perspective quite scintillating, which I'd say something basic like, yeah, the pizza's pretty good. But I chalked all of that up to social awkwardness. You're right. It is a scintillating perspective. Your pineapple on pizza. Where do you stand? Because I will die on this hill, you know. He told me his name was Theodore. But you can call me Theo, he said, like he was granting me some great honor. Yeah, I love when people do that. Or you could do the flip reverse and be like, but only my friends call me Theo, you know. Then they're putting the bar up right away. He said he worked from home doing freelance consulting, which, as I would later learn, meant that he moderated 3 Discord servers and occasionally sold anime figures on eBay. Neat. Can you get paid for being a I thought that was like a free moderator thing, like Reddit. It's just, you probably don't want to do that for an income. After about a week of chatting, he suggested that we meet up. He picked the restaurant, this little Japanese place downtown called Koi Pond. Was that in LA? Koi Japanese restaurant? Super fancy, dude. He had like $50 for 3 sushis. What the fuck? Not a bad choice, actually, says OP. I figured, hey, maybe this won't be so bad. Maybe the filters were just him being insecure, and he's actually a decent dude underneath all of that weird vocabulary. I mean, it could have been, you know, if you enjoyed the conversation and such. I'm still not completely out of the thing yet. Maybe that makes me just as dumb and culpable as OP. I don't really know. At some point, this is going to go off the rails, I'm sure. So yeah, I want you to remember that optimism, says OP. Hold it close and dear in your heart because it is about to be murdered. I got to Koi Pond about 10 minutes early because I'm the kind of anxious person who would rather sit alone awkwardly than risk being late. I grabbed a booth, ordered some water, and waited. 5 minutes passed, 10, 15, I was about to text him when the door opened and I watched my evening and a small part of my soul begin to die. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
It's like that, just on sight. It had to be real bad. Let me paint this picture for you. And I want you to really sit with it because I need you to understand what walked through that door. Close your eyes. Actually, don't close your eyes. You're reading this, but, mentally prepare yourself. Fucking smart aleck. I like a smart aleck OB. Fucking funny. Go ahead, get a glass of water. Maybe open up a window, because you are going to need some fresh air. That counts as disclaimer for people who are reading, I'm pretty sure. So the door opened and this presence entered the restaurant. I say presence because the smell arrived about 3 seconds before the man did. Like an advanced scout warning the rest of the senses what was coming. You guys gotta get the fuck out of here. Run! The hostess, this sweet little college-age girl, physically took a step backward. Not subtly either. Like, she full-on retreated, like this guy had pulled a weapon on her. I watched her face cycle through confusion, recognition, horror, and then that dead-eyed customer service mask that food workers tend to develop as a survival mechanism. I mean, what are you gonna do? Turn them away? I mean, to be fair, even putting them in the restaurant is probably gonna drive tens of other customers away. It's a hard balancing act, that's what I'll say. Theodore was, not what his pictures suggested. And that's the most diplomatic version that I can give you. The honest version, though, is that his profile pics must have been from 2015, taken from the one good angle that God intended for him, with enough filters to qualify as fraud. It's so savage. The man who walked into Koi Pod was easily 350 pounds. He was wearing a black button-up shirt that was working overtime. Yeah, we got to sew those buttons on with like steel thread, you know? These buttons were hanging on for dear life, doing the structural work of an entire suspension bridge. The shirt was tucked into cargo shorts, and not in a fun, ironic way. In a like, this is genuinely how I know how to dress like an adult kind of way. He had knee-high black socks with sandals. Sandals! I don't think there's a gay man in the world that would approve of that. Is this his first time? Is he just trying something new out? Maybe we should be more gentle with old UpperDeckerBeard. I'll call him Theodore, because only his friends call him Theo. I was gonna say it's nice he wore the black button-up shirt, but like, yeah, what the fuck is with the cargo shorts and the sandals? And the socks in the sandals? He had to keep it formal because of the button-up shirt, I guess. But the piece de resistance, and God help me, I'm not making this up, was the hat. It was a fedora. Not a trilby that people call a fedora, an actual full-brimmed Indiana Jones if he gave up on life type of fedora. And it was dusty, like visibly dusty, like it had been sitting on a shelf between uses and nobody had thought to, I don't know, maybe give it a wipe. Well, at least he doesn't use it often, ? Like, that's his way of dressing it up for you. I put on my fancy hat covered in fucking years of dust. I guess the dust helps to hide the dandruff.
Snowflake, snowflake, leave.
He spotted me, and his face lit up like a kid on Christmas morning. He waddled over to the booth with this huge grin, and that is when the smell hit me. Oh, God. The smell. Yeah, I think you said you've been engulfed since he walked in, but I'm sure as he gets closer, it ramps up in intensity. You know how sometimes you walk past a dumpster in August and you get that wave, that hot, wet wall of funk that just seems to have weight and texture? Yeah, something died in there. Oh, imagine that. But mixed with what I can only describe as fermented cheese and old pennies. Old pet, that metallic smells probably blood. He's bleeding somewhere? Don't do anything with this guy. A lot of these first date stories turn out that way. He was disgusting and horrible and I went home with him anyways. Don't be one of those OPs, OP. I'm crossing my fucking fingers right now. This stink was layered, like an onion of stink. You'd get the initial blast of body odor, that sharp, acidic, I haven't worn deodorant since the Obama administration type of funk, and then underneath it, there was something deeper, more sinister. Yeah, the metallic smell is pretty sinister. I don't like what that implies. OP says it was something biological, something that suggested multiple systems were failing simultaneously. Bro, I'm not gonna take any guesses as to what it is. I'm gonna let you tell me. It hit me in a wave as he slid into the booth across from me, and I had to physically fight the urge to lean back. Yeah, the back of the booth is fucking holding you forward like a torture chair now. The couple at the next table looked over. The woman made eye contact with me, and I watched her soul leave her body in real time. Danny, a pleasure to finally meet in the flesh. He reached across the table to shake my hand, and I noticed his fingernails were long. Not like I forgot to trim them type of long, but like intentionally long. And also with visible grime underneath them. Don't. I shook his hand. No! Because I was raised with manners, and sometimes manners are a curse. I just hope you got some, like, I don't know, fucking isopropyl in your bag there. You do have a bag, right? The man purse? Forgot to bring the man purse on your date? Oh no! It's over now! It's fine. I also carry a satchel. Put the alcohol in here. It's gonna save you in situations like this. If you ever find yourself in situations like this, which I try not to, but yeah, sometimes shit just happens. Goes real sideways. At least we get a Reddit story out of it. His palm was damp. Not sweaty, damp. Like he'd been holding on to a wet sponge. I resisted the urge to wipe my hand on my jeans under the table, and I failed. I absolutely wiped my hand on my jeans under the table. It's fine. He's not paying any attention anyways. This guy is clearly living in his own fucking head, protagonist of his own anime, and yeah, you're the love interest for now, unfortunately. Hey, Theo, nice to finally meet you, I said, because lying is a survival skill. Damn, this says a lot about our society, but I do agree. He took off the fedora and set it on the table. On the table! Where food was going to be! And I got a full view of the hair situation. It was long and greasy and pulled back into a ponytail that looked like it had texture and also the moisture content of a used mop. Yeah, it's not water in there though. That's all grease, baby. That's horrifying. How long's it been since you washed it that it just forms into a giant dreadlock on the back of your head? His beard, and I use that term loosely, was patchy, wispy, and appeared to have things in it. I didn't look closely enough to identify them because, yeah, some mysteries are better left unsolved. Robert Stack wouldn't agree with you there. But I do, and that's what's most importantly, I think. You're just gonna be disappointed at what you find. I guarantee that much. I must confess, he said, leaning forward conspiratorially. I was quite nervous about tonight. I've been on several dates from the app, but most men are so superficial. They can't see past the exterior to the mind beneath. Yeah, maybe just work on the exterior then, I don't know. He tapped his temple and gave me this knowing look, like we were both in on some secret about the shallow nature of the gay community. It's kind of an open secret. I smiled and nodded, because what the hell else was I gonna do? I was trapped in a booth, The smell had formed a barricade. I was a prisoner of war at Koi Pond Japanese restaurant. Does the waiter help you out any at all here, or just fucking looks on forlornly? There's nothing I can do for you now. I'm sorry. We ordered food, and this guy ordered 3 entrees. 3 for himself. Bro, if this is the restaurant I'm thinking about, 3 entrees, he must be balling out. It's not going to get me past the smell and the obvious lack of self-care, but I would let you treat me to a dinner while I sit there and try not to puke because of your disgusting smell. The waiter didn't even blink. Bless that man's professionalism. He's seen it all. While we waited, Theodore launched into a monologue about how most people couldn't appreciate true intellect and how society was designed to marginalize people who think differently. I can almost agree with the broad strokes of that thought, but you're using that thought to justify just your fucking own horribleness, and I can't agree with that part of it, okay? There's think differently, and then there's whatever the hell you're doing. I'm just sitting there nodding along, doing that thing where you say, and oh, totally, every 30 seconds, while your brain is running the escape route calculations. Yeah, how big is the bathroom window? We can fit. It's fine. We can fit. He can't fit after us. We're gonna make it. And then it happened. The thing. The thing! What was the thing, OP? Theodore was in the middle of explaining to me why actually, if you think about it, the age of consent is a more nuanced topic than people get it credit for. Yeah, massive red flag there. Absolutely enormous, I know. But then he stopped mid-sentence. His face did this thing like a small internal earthquake. His eyes got wide, his jaw shifted, and he made this sound. This awful, guttural, deep throat sound, like a cat hacking up a hairball, but wetter, more productive. Productive probably is the nicest thing that we could call it. I watched in paralyzed horror as he coughed up something in his mouth. He worked it around for a second. I could see his jaw moving, his tongue probing around, and then he reached into his mouth with his dirty thumb and forefinger and extracted something. It was small, yellowish white, about the size of a small pea. It was a tonsil stone. I know what these are because of Bogica. You remember Bogica? I gotta go visit that again, see if there's any updates. It's only the second time we've seen it on the channel, though, so I'm kind of excited, but also that's why would you do that in public? Now, if you don't know what tonsil stones are, I envy you. They're these little calcified chunks of bacteria and dead cells and food debris that form in the crevices of your tonsils. They're relatively common, and most people who get them discreetly deal with them in private like a normal human being. They also smell like absolute death, like concentrated, weaponized bad breath compressed into a tiny pellet of biological warfare. It's a terrifying thing. Do not break it open. Resist your curiosity. Theodore did not discreetly deal with this in private. Theodore held it up between his fingers and examined it with a look of mild curiosity, like a scientist observing a specimen. My face is not mild curiosity during the observation of this specimen, just to be clear. It's like that fucking, that scrunched up, nasty face. Disgusting! And then, with the casualness of a man brushing lint off of his sleeve, he reached over and wiped the tonsil stone on the wall next to our booth. On the wall! A napkin might have been better. I don't know. He smeared it there on the wall of this restaurant. This restaurant where people come to eat food. Yeah, why does this booth smell like fucking gingivitis? Where humans come to nourish themselves. He left this small yellowish streak on the paint and then went right back to talking like absolutely nothing had happened. You didn't even think twice about it. He's a monster, bro. You gotta get out, dude. As I was saying, the problem with modern dating is... I'm sorry, I said, and my voice sounded like it was coming from very far away. Did you just put that on the wall? He looked at me with genuine confusion. Put what? The thing from your mouth? You just wiped it on the wall. Oh, that! He laughed like I pointed out some sauce on his chin. Don't worry about it. It's just a tonsil stone. I get them all the time. They're totally natural. Yeah, I guess. They're more natural when you don't brush your teeth at all. OP asks, but on the wall, though? It's fine. They clean the walls. They clean the walls. As if there's a guy at Koi Pond whose specific job is to go around scraping strangers' tonsil deposits off the dining room surfaces. As if this is an expected and accounted for element of restaurant maintenance. Nobody. They wipe down that wall probably like twice a year, if that. Nobody expects you to do some unhinged shit like that. I wanted to scream. I wanted to flip the table. I wanted to go back in time and slap the phone out of my own hand before I ever swiped right. Yeah, hindsight's a hell of a thing, I'll say that. You could still flip the table, though. Like, that's not completely out of the equation. I almost would encourage it in some circumstance. And yes, this is one of those circumstances. But I didn't do any of those things because I am cursed with politeness. And I was also in full fight or flight, and my stupid body chose freeze. I mean, I guess freeze is okay in this situation, but yeah. I hope you don't stay frozen for too long, because I don't know how this is all gonna go. The food arrived, and watching Theodore eat was its very own circle of hell. He didn't use chopsticks. Okay, fine. Lots of people don't. But he used his fingers for things that were clearly meant to be eaten with utensils. Sushi, fingers. Miso soup, he drank it from the bowl and it dribbled down into his beard and rivulets, mixing with whatever ecosystem was already clearly thriving in there. He talked with his mouth full, spraying little particles of rice and fish across the table. I watched a grain of rice arc through the air in slow motion and land on my arm. And I felt my whole body recoil. I just can't anymore. I'm sitting right in the splash zone. At one point, he picked up a piece of salmon sashimi, and I watched a strand of something stretch between his fingers and the fish like a tiny bridge of nightmares. Mucus? I don't know. I'm not a forensic student. He didn't notice, or if he did, he didn't really care. Yeah, I've never seen anybody that gave less of a fuck than this guy, you know? Why are you choosing these things? Do you not notice the crunchy taste of the salmon from the dirt under your fingernails that got all mixed in there? Probably he doesn't. Probably he thinks that's how salmon tastes. It always tastes like under my fingernails in every food I eat. Holy crap. He chewed with his mouth open, making these wet, smacking sounds that I can still hear if a room ever gets too quiet. You got them flashbacks, huh? Like someone stirring mac and cheese, but wetter. God, everything about this man was wet. How was he so damp? It wasn't even hot inside of this restaurant. He's a big boy. That's what I take from it. He's just having a hard time moving around. Like, strap 40-pound weights to each of your arm and then try to eat a meal and see how much you sweat. At one point, a piece of tempura fell into his beard and he just left it there. It hung there like a Christmas ornament for a solid 5 minutes before gravity finally claimed it and it fell onto the table. And then he picked it up and ate it. Well, that's just called recycling. The woman at the next table had been sneaking horrified glances at us all night, and this was apparently her breaking point, because I heard her whisper, "Check, please," to the waiter with actual urgency in her voice. He ordered dessert, of course, mochi ice cream, and he ate it in one bite. The whole thing. All 3 pieces, one after another, and then he licked the plate. Hope he didn't get anything. You're supposed to at least share one of them. Please, for God's sake. He's licking this plate in the restaurant, in public, where people can see him, where fucking God and everybody can see him. The waiter came by and handed Theodore back the plate, which was now polished to a high shine and glistening with bacteria-laden saliva, and he said, "My compliments to the chef," with absolutely zero self-awareness that he had just committed a crime against dining. Everybody's looking at you, dude. But like I said, he's the main character in his own little anime. He's not really even registering the thoughts of anybody around him. He's so inwardly focused. And his ego doing most of the heavy lifting. If people are looking, they're just looking because they're super jealous. Because I'm such a big masculine man. I pushed my food around my plate and tried to figure out how to extract myself from this situation without being a complete asshole, because despite everything, the smell, the tonsil stone, the fingernails, the tempura beard, some stupid part of my brain was still trying to be nice, to not hurt his feelings. I hate that part of my brain. Well, we could get rid of that. Somebody hand me an ice pick. I know exactly where to poke. That part of my brain is why I am writing this story right now. Like, I'm of the opinion personally that politeness is just massively overrated. Especially when someone doesn't return the favor and do a polite thing like shower before a date. You've already broken the social contract. I'm not gonna sit here and waste my fucking time. Anyway, so, Theodore said, bits of edamame visible in his teeth, I feel like we have a real connection. I don't open up to people easily, but there's something about you, Daddy. You're not like the other guys. Oh, no. Yeah, that's really sweet, Theo, but I mean, most people can't handle me because I'm too intense, too intelligent, and that intimidates them, but you get me. I can tell. I don't get any of this. I'm going to be honest with you. The only thing I've done this entire date is sit here and let you talk at me while I was assaulted by flecks of food and tonsil stones. This is the worst date that I've ever been on. You're a disgusting human being inside and out. Like, he's talking about age of consent law. I just can't. I fucking can't anymore, okay? Politeness is out the window. Call me an asshole if you need to. The opinion of someone like you means fucking nothing to me.
Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
He reached across the table and put his hand on mine. No, stand up and say exactly what I said verbatim right now. Do it. It was the damp hand. The long fingernail hand. Take my strong hand. I felt something gritty on his palm, like sand. Except it wasn't sand. I don't know what it was. I do not want to know what it was. I can't even imagine, bro. Has he been to the beach earlier that day and he's like scratching his balls while he's eating tempura? Or what? Where does your body make sand? I don't think that happens naturally. I think this could be something really special, he said, and his eyes were doing this intense, unblinking thing that made my skin crawl. I haven't felt this way since my last relationship. When was that? I asked, gently extracting my hand. 2016. She was a girl I met at a convention. We dated online for 3 months, but she turned out to be a liar. Said she was moving to Japan and blocked me. Women, am I right? He paused. I mean, obviously, I'm into dudes, too. I'm on grindr. I'm actually a pansexual because I don't believe in limiting my love to arbitrary constructs. He said this with the energy of someone who had rehearsed it verbatim in the mirror. And I absolutely believe that he has. Like, this is 30% of his personality right here. Did you know I'm pansexual? Did you know I really don't give a shit? How about that? Thanks for opening up, but yeah, I can't with this. OP just says, yeah, cool, I said, already composing my escape text to my friend Marissa. We had a system. If I texted her the eggplant emoji followed by the ambulance emoji, she'd call me with a fake emergency. I pulled out my phone under the table, sent. I hope you return the same favor for Marissa, though. What's her deal anyway? Sounds like she comes in clutch. Sometimes I wish we would get a cast list in the front, but sometimes it's good to discover new characters along the way. 30 seconds later, my phone indeed rang. Oh no, I gotta take this, I said, trying to look concerned. Hello? What? Oh my god! Yeah, I'll be right there! I hung up and gave Theodore my best devastated face. I'm so sorry. My friend just got in a car accident. I have to go. That's so over the top. But yeah, it's definitely an emergency. Okay, nobody's gonna stop you from going to that emergency. He's not getting a second date. We don't have to worry about follow-up questions. It does give him sort of an in if he sees you in public to be like, how's your friend? And you'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? But sometimes that's a risk we just gotta take if we don't want to actually crawl out the bathroom window. The look on Theodore's face went through about 7 emotions in 2 seconds. Concern, suspicion, hurt, anger, and then the worst one, understanding. Not actual understanding, the performative kind, of course. The, I'm gonna be so gracious about this because I'm a gentleman kind of understanding. Of course. Your friend needs you. That's what I love about you, Danny. You're so caring. He stood up and I realized that he expected a hug. He was moving toward me with his arms open, that smell leading the charge like a medieval army's first wave. I guess all we could do is hold out our halberds and let it wash over us, you know? I think it's really interesting that you clock the different expressions on his face. What was going through his mind? He probably thought he played it super cool. But yeah, if you know people well, reading the face is always really fucking easy. I did the side pat to him. You know the one. Quick, one-armed, minimal contact side pat that says, okay, I acknowledge your physical presence, but I'd rather be anywhere else right now. And even that brief contact transferred enough odor onto my jacket that I had to wash it twice when I got home. My jacket! From a side pat! This guy, it's not a good situation. He's a walking dumpster fire. Let's do this again soon, he called after me as I speed walked to my car. I'll text you. I got in my car, locked the doors like he was gonna chase me. And I just sat there for a full minute, just breathing through my mouth and processing what the hell had just happened. My hands were shaking, not exactly from fear, but from the sheer, overwhelming sensory assault that my body had just endured. I mean, it's no joke. Like, it went beyond senses. It went into your mental mind. I don't want to sit here and talk about fucking age of consent laws with you, although it was nice that he picked up the bill, but, I'm not, no. Or did OP just walk out on the bill? Either way, it's fine. We're never gonna see that guy no more, except there's 2 more parts to this story after this one, so. I looked at my hand, the one that he'd shaken, and I swear I could still feel the dampness. Dude, that bacteria is colonizing your hand right now. You need to wash it somewhere. Fucking somebody's front yard hose. Just do whatever you can, okay? It's gonna overtake you. The phantom moisture of Theodore's greeting. I fumbled through my glove compartment until I found an old bottle of hand sanitizer and used approximately half of it. Probably still not enough, but it's a good start. I'll bleach my hand when I get home. And then I drove back home. I drove with the windows down, even though it was 40 degrees outside, because I could still smell him in my jacket. The odor had clung to me like a desperate ex. It had permeated the fabric on a molecular level during that brief side pat, and now my car smelled like a preview of what his apartment probably smelled like. What? Apartment? You go in this fucking guy's apartment? Oh, OP. I was so proud of you for getting out of there, but now you put my head for a spin. Although I do like you talk about the molecular level. That's trace amounts of science. Also, OP, are you a patron yet? Have you signed up on the YouTube memberships? I would really appreciate if you did that. And also anybody else watching. Lots of delicious members-only content. A lot of it is incels at this point because YouTube decided we can't talk about no more publicly. But I'll cook up some members-only videos for you guys. Sorry about the cheap plug. But the apartment thing did send my head for a spin. I just needed the plug to reset, you know. Spoiler alert, I would eventually find out what his apartment smelled like, but we're not there yet. We are not ready for that yet. I mean, yeah, you take your time with all that, you know? I don't know if I'm ready for it, that's true. I got home and stripped at the door, threw my jacket directly into the washing machine, set it to hot, and then stood in the shower for 20 minutes at a temperature that could be classified as self-inflicted punishment.
Death, you are my bitch lover!
You didn't do anything wrong, OP. It's not your fault, okay? I scrubbed like I was trying to remove a top layer of skin. I used the entire loofah's worth of body wash, and even after that, standing there pink and raw and steaming, I could still catch phantom whiffs. My therapist would later tell me that this was probably psychosomatic, but my nose would beg to differ. Yeah, nose feels what it feels, okay? After my decontamination shower, I sat on my couch in clean sweatpants with my wet hair dripping onto a towel, and I texted Marissa, Danny, I need you to know that was the worst experience of my life, and I am including the time that I broke my arm back in 4th grade. Marissa, that bad? OP, he wiped a tonsil stone on the wall of the restaurant, Marissa. On the wall! Marissa, I'm sorry. What? OP, like a booger, but worse. So much worse. Marissa, oh my god, Danny. OP, I think I could still smell him. I think the smell is literally inside of me now. I think it's become a part of me. Told you, bro, you should wash that hand sooner. It's unfortunate. That's a fungal colony, bro. Marissa, block him. Block him right now. And she was right. She was so right. I should have blocked him right then and there. Should have blocked him, deleted the app, thrown my phone in a river, and started a new life as a hermit up in the mountains. Honestly, still not far enough. But that's where we can start. And the start of that start is starting with blocking him. So do it right now. Listen to the good advice that is given to you. I know I don't. Again, I understand, OP. Somebody tells you to do something and all of a sudden you just don't want to do that thing anymore. But I didn't do any of that, says OP, because I am an idiot. Yeah, we relate a lot. I told myself I'd do it in the morning. I was tired. I was traumatized. I just wanted to go to sleep and forget that the whole thing ever happened. I figured one night wouldn't matter. He'd probably move on to somebody else by morning anyway, right? I mean, guys on Grindr have pretty short attention spans. He'd find some other poor soul to subject to his tonsil stones and his damp hands and his 3 entree dinner orders and his nuanced opinions about consent laws. I kept telling myself that it was over. But then, I woke up to 47 messages. 47! 11:47 p.m. I had such a wonderful time tonight. I hope your friend's okay. 11:52. I just wanted you to know that I felt a real spark between us, and I don't say that lightly. 12:03. Are you still at the hospital? I could come bring you coffee if you need support. And then, they started to shift. Yes, the nice guy turn, that's what this is. Hey, I'm just checking in. Hey, you haven't responded. I'm getting a little worried. 12:51. Danny! 1:15. I know you're probably busy, but a simple response would be courteous. I gave you a really nice evening, and I think I deserve at least an acknowledgement. 1:33. Fine. I see how it is. 1:34. You know what? No! I'm not gonna be passive-aggressive about this. I'm gonna be direct. I thought we had something real. And the fact that you can't even text me back is honestly just really hurtful. 1:47. I looked up your friend on Facebook and I can't find any posts about a car accident. Interesting. Oh yeah, is that the first thing you do when you get into a car accident? Selfie! Here I am in the hospital selfie. I mean, some people clearly do, but to me, that is just like a really deranged way to live your life, okay? OP says, oh no. Oh no! What, you got found out on Facebook? That's fine. Plausible deniability, we said it earlier. 2:15 a.m. I'm not accusing you of lying. I'm just saying it's suspicious. 2:16. Actually, you know what? I am accusing you of lying. Nobody's friends got in a car accident. That was just an excuse. I've seen this before. 2:30 a.m. Do you know how hard it is for someone like me to put themselves out there? Do you have any idea? I was vulnerable with you tonight. I shared my authentic self and you threw it in my face. I mean, it's just hard to get past the exterior, you know? Even your true authentic self deep down under the exterior is not all that impressive, despite your ego telling you otherwise. I probably would text him back, be lured into it, but OP isn't. I guess he's asleep at this point. Whatever. Are we gonna get all 47 of the messages? I bet you're one of those guys who only cares about looks. Typical. You're all the same. He wants a muscled up airhead who can't even discuss philosophy. Well, fine. Go ahead. See how that works out for you. 3 a.m. I'm sorry, that was harsh. I didn't mean it. I'm just hurt. Please talk to me. 3:01. Danny, please. 3:15. I've been crying for an hour. 3:22. You made me feel like I mattered and then you just left. I mean, maybe the entire situation was real, and maybe somebody went to bed after a long day and a date and their friend getting in a car crash, and if they woke up to these messages, even if they were interested before, they are no longer, okay? You're digging your own fucking grave here, as I'm sure you've done for every potential relationship that you've ever, almost gotten into through Grindr or whatever. 3:30 a.m. I can't believe I wasted my one nice shirt on you. OP says it was not nice. For the record, that was not a nice shirt. I mean, the structural integrity of that shirt was something to write home about, surely. 3:45. This is your last chance. If you don't respond by morning, I'm gonna assume you're just like everyone else. 4 a.m. Fine. 4:01. Fine. 4:15. I hope you know that you're a genuinely terrible person. 4:30. I gave you everything, and this is what I get. 4:31. I even wore my good fedora. OP says his good fedora. The dusty one was the good one. And that implies the existence of a bad fedora, and I cannot even begin to imagine what that looks like. I don't want to imagine it. My therapist is already earning her money as it is. Yeah, the extra greased up fedora. The fedora that looks like it's always wet because we sweat into it. 5 a.m. You know what? I forgive you. I'm a bigger person than this. No pun intended. When you're ready to apologize, I'll be here. I'll always be here for you, Danny. Heart emoji. Also, I should mention I saw your workplace listed on Instagram. Cool brewery. Maybe I'll stop by sometime to say hi. Smiley face. Oh, shit. That is ominous. This is the problem with social media. People can just dig right the fuck in. He spent hours researching you. Finally found the brewery you work at. Ugh. It's not good. It's not good. I stared at that last message for a long time. A very, very long time. He found my workplace. He found my Instagram. He knew where I worked. And he phrased it so casually, so lightly, with that little smiley face, like it was totally normal and a not at all threatening thing to say after sending someone 47 unhinged messages between midnight and dawn. That's the thing about guys like Theodore. They weaponize casualness. They say something that would make a restraining order lawyer's ears perk up, and they tuck it all in a smiley face. So if you call them on it, they could say, I was just being friendly. God, why is everyone so paranoid? And then I blocked him. I finally blocked him on Grindr. And then I went to Instagram, blocked him there too. Then Facebook, then Twitter, then every platform I could think of. I went through my privacy settings on everything like I was preparing for cyber war. And I set everything to private. I mean, that's probably good first steps, I think. Shut down all lines of communication. But despite all of that defense, he is going to show up to your work at some point. Can you, like, warn your coworkers? Just, I'm going to be in the back tapping kegs or whatever the fuck. And if this weirdo comes in, say I haven't worked here for months and hopefully he never comes back. Then he's lost the scent trail. That's the only thing that I can think of to do in a situation like this. If we're not going to be super direct and upfront and maybe even instigate a physical fight. I removed my workplace from my bio. I Googled my own name to see what came up and went through the first 3 pages of results, making sure there was nothing that could lead him to my door. Yeah, look, we should have done all this before, you know? Cybersecurity is real. Keep everything tightly tied. I felt paranoid. I felt crazy. Marissa would later on tell me that I wasn't being paranoid enough. And Marissa probably been through some shit too, man. Maybe Marissa has some stories. Can we bring her in here, OP? I'd like to make the introduction. And I built a digital fortress around myself, and I genuinely, naively, stupidly thought that that would be the end of it. That a normal human being, upon being blocked on every platform, would get the message, pun intended, and move on with their life. That even someone as socially oblivious as Theodore would understand that a block means leave me alone. But Theodore, as I was about to learn, did not operate by the rules of normal human beings. Theodore operated by the rules of Theodore, and in Theodore's world, a block wasn't a rejection, it was an obstacle, a test, a quest, if you will, that a true gentleman must overcome to prove his devotion. He's really sick in the head, you know that. I know this situation's not going to turn out well, but OP ends up back at his apartment, so, like, my only question is how bad does the thing get? You get kidnapped or something? It's fucked up, man. So Marissa called me in the morning, and I read her all of these messages, and she was silent for so long that I thought the call had dropped. "Danny," she said, in a voice that she uses when she's about to say something that I don't want to hear. "This is not funny weird anymore. This is like scary weird." "It's fine," I said. I blocked him. It's over. "Danny, he found your Instagram in the middle of the night after one date. That is not normal behavior. That is not even close to normal behavior. I mean, a little cyber stalking is probably okay, but don't bring it up, you know? I just know these things now. It's fine. I also read your police report. Indecent exposure back in 2005. That's weird." And, OP says, "Well, people stalk people's socials after dates all the time," I said, which is true, but even as I said it, I knew that this situation was different. Checking someone's Instagram is one thing. See, OP going to bat for me. I don't feel like a weirdo for taking a look. Mentioning their workplace at 5 a.m. in the middle of a 47 message spiral? Yeah, that is something else entirely. Just be careful, okay? And if he shows up to your job, you gotta call the police. He's not gonna show up to my job, Marissa. He's just a weird dude that can't handle rejection. He'll find someone else to fixate on by next week. She made a sound that communicated more doubt than words ever could. Is that what Marissa does? Is she a type of girl? Because I have that sound too, and it's just, Just, if I don't agree and I don't want to get into it, I just, It wasn't over. It wasn't even close to over. Oh boy. But that, my friends, is a story for part 2. Don't tell me you fucking kidnapped you or something. This is wild. TLDR. Went on a grindr date with a man who wiped a tonsil stone on a restaurant wall, ate tempura out of his own beard, had opinions on age of consent laws, and then sent me 45 messages in about 5 hours when I escaped the date early. He found my Instagram and knows where I work. I blocked him, but I got a bad feeling about this. Part 2 coming soon. It gets worse. So much worse. Why does a bad date have to escalate, you know? You really just want to slip the noose, but you can't, and be polite. So don't be polite. If it's a matter of keeping my neck in the noose or being polite, I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna slip it. I'm gonna get away and run far into the night, because that's all something that somebody like this deserves. Even the part where he's trying to be defensive and be like, oh, I'm an intellectual under all that. Like, I don't think you're as intellectual as you think you are, friend. Was there a single discussion about fucking philosophy or Russian literature? No, you're just sitting there talking about age of consent laws because all you can think about is your disgusting little button mushroom tucked away there in your fungus-infested pants. My phone said, uh-oh. I want the Gubbinses in here. We gotta see how this series starts out with the boys. It's a hell of a long part, but we'll see who gets the point today. Step on up, boys!
Theodore, not gross, he very generous, interior decorator. He give restaurant free wall art made of mouth rocks and fermented beard tempura for later snacking.
Ugh.
Most men pay with money, but Theodore pay with biological samples and nuanced opinions that make police ears wiggle. He's so thoughtful, he even used his good dusty hat to keep his brain ponytail from escaping his skull. Gubbins.
Is that all we gotta do is pull on the ponytail and throw it against the wall and his brain smashes?
He hides a predatory sense of entitlement behind a veneer of intellectual discourse, and a fedora that clearly hasn't seen a brush since the 2016 relationship he hallucinated. The 47 messages are merely the digital manifestation of the same damp, clinging rot found beneath his fingernails. Dark Gubbins.
Not bad. I think I like Gubbin's sarcasm a little bit more today. Congratulations, boy! That smell. That smell!
That smell. The kind of smelly smell. The smelly smell that smells smelly.
This is UpperDeckerBeard 2! Lured to the nest. Yeah, but how would you be lured to the nest of somebody so stinky? I guess we'll see. Yes, alright, part 2. You asked for it. I did. Before I get into it, yes, I know I should have been more direct with him instead of faking an emergency. I do know that now. I knew it then, honestly, but there's a difference between knowing what you should do and actually doing it when you're sitting across from a man who smells like a cheese factory built on top of a mass grave. Just out the gate with the savagery. Wonderful. That probably does tilt you a little bit, you know? You weren't in your right mind when you made that decision. Fight or flight does not come with a have a mature conversation about boundaries option. At least, mine doesn't. Yeah, mine either, really. To the people who might have thought that I was being shallow and that Theodore deserved a chance, respectfully, you were not there. You did not see the wall. You did not smell that smell. You did not witness a man eat tempura out of his own beard and lick a plate clean in a public restaurant. I promise you, this was not a case of me being superficial. This was a case of basic biological self-preservation. Yeah, I can see that too. And even if you were being superficial, like, who cares? I like what I like, and I'm not into stinky boys. I don't know anybody who is. Okay, anyway, part 2, yeah, buckle up. So after I blocked Theodore on everything, I had about 4 days of peace. 4 beautiful, quiet, tonsil stone-free days where I almost convinced myself that the whole thing had just been a bad dream. I went to work, hung out with Marissa, I went on a normal date with a normal dude who used utensils and did not wipe anything biological on any restaurant surfaces. Life was good. Life was normal. Well, what happened with the normal dude? Are you still into that, or just, like, kind of didn't work out? I don't know. Sometimes you can have an okay date and just not connect. But then Theodore showed up at my job. Yeah, that was alluded to. I need to set the scene here. The brewery where I work, Millstone Brewing, is this chill little tap room in a converted warehouse. Exposed brick, string lights, the whole hipster aesthetic. Dude, do you have the fucking flannel? Do you have the beanie? I asked you last episode. I never got an answer. I'm still curious. That's the uniform, huh? We get a decent crowd on weekends, but weeknights are pretty mellow. This was a Tuesday. I was behind the bar, wiping down glasses, talking to my coworker Jake about absolutely nothing important, when I looked up and felt my entire body go cold. He was standing in the doorway, fedora and all. Different shirt this time, a red button-up that was somehow in worse shape than the black one from our date. There was a visible stain on the front that could have been just about anything, from mustard to something that I refuse to speculate about. Yeah, it's probably that second one. He was just standing there, scanning the room, and when his eyes found me, he smiled. This big, wet, excited smile, like a dog who just spotted its owner after a long day. Bro, you should dip down behind the counter or something. You just deer in the headlights, fucking waiting for him to clock you. No, dude, come on. Evasive maneuvers, let's go. He waddled up to the bar and sat down on a stool. Yeah, that stool's having a bad day. And the guy sitting next to where he chose to park immediately got up and moved. He just stood up, grabbed his beer, and relocated to the other end of the bar without saying a word. I understood. Yeah, I think we all understand. I envied him. I wished that I could also simply just leave. Danny, Theodore said, like we were old friends, like we'd known each other for years, and this was a happy reunion. I was in the neighborhood, and I remembered that you work here. What a coincidence. It was not a coincidence. Nothing about this was a coincidence. Yeah, this is the opposite of that. A plot, a plan. I lived 15 minutes from the brewery, and he lived, as I would later find out, on the complete opposite side of town. He did not just happen to be in the neighborhood. He came here, on purpose, to my workplace, after I blocked him on every platform known to man. Maybe we should just call cops right now. I don't know. The cops aren't going to take it seriously at this point, are they? What was I supposed to do? He was a customer in my bar. I couldn't refuse to serve him. I mean, probably could, but then you have to talk with the manager later and explain the whole fucking thing. Just give him a beer, you know? Put it in a styrofoam cup with a lid on it and say, this beer's to go. And Opie says, I couldn't call the cops because, yeah, it was just a guy sitting down and ordering a drink. He hadn't technically done anything wrong, and as I said before, that's the insidious thing about guys like this. They know exactly where the line is, and they try to tap dance right up to it without ever technically crossing it. So if you complain, then you're the one who looks crazy. Yeah, I'm used to that. I'll be crazy. You want me to be fucking crazy? I got a knife. Hey, Theo, I said, keeping my voice flat and professional. What can I get you? What do you recommend? I usually drink Mountain Dew, but I'm trying to broaden my horizons. We don't have Mountain Dew. Hit the 7-Eleven down the street. He said this like it was charming, like admitting that your primary beverage is neon green sugar water was supposed to be an endearing quirk and not a red flag the size of a football field. I mean, I do love me some sugar water too, but that's usually information that you have to like choke out of me. I'm not gonna volunteer that. I poured him our lightest beer because I didn't want him here long enough to get through anything heavy. He took a sip, made a face like a toddler trying a lemon for the first time, and then proceeded to sit at my bar for 3 hours. It's excruciating. Do you have nowhere to be? He really doesn't. Does your mom wonder where you are? She doesn't care anymore. She's like, good. I hope he stays gone. 3 hours, says OP. He nursed that single beer the entire time, talking at me whenever I came within earshot. And I do mean talking at me, not to me, because a conversation requires 2 participants, and I was giving him absolutely nothing. one-word answers, no eye contact, the energy of a man who would rather be literally anywhere else on the planet. Yeah, embody that energy. And he either didn't notice or didn't care. I think it was the second one. I don't know. He probably didn't notice at all. He seems like really self-absorbed in his own shit, but yeah, even if he did notice, even if he had an inkling that, like, this is not normally how people interact with me, yeah, he just pushes on. Maybe we can barrel on through it. He told me all about his anime collection, and he told me about the 3 Discord servers he moderates, and the drama on each one. God, I've never been more uninvested in anything. He told me about his theory that society was collapsing because people didn't appreciate classic masculinity anymore, which is a wild thing to say while sitting in a brewery with a Mountain Dew pallet and a stained shirt. He is a man-child. His own ego is propping up that masculinity line, but he's about the most, like, unmasculine person I've ever seen. He told me at one point that he was between living situations, and he was currently staying in his mom's old apartment that she left him when she moved to Florida. He said this like it was temporary, like he had big plans right around the corner. I would later learn that it was not temporary. Again, that's the ego piping up. Don't worry, buddy. We're not gonna be a leech forever, are we? Yes, he definitely is. He's made no moves. How could you fucking expect anything different to happen if you're not making any goddamn moves? Jake, my coworker, pulled me aside at one point and said, "Dude, is that guy bothering you? He keeps staring at you when you walk away." It's a long story, I said. Is that the grindr guy? That tonsil stone dude? I made the mistake of telling Jake about the date, and Jake had told approximately, everyone. I mean, if you didn't want him to tell everybody, you probably should have said, keep this under your hat. But if that request was not made, then I can't blame Jake. It's an interesting story. I'm sharing it with thousands more. Hope he says, yeah, it's him. Do you want me to say something? No, don't engage. That's just what he wants. He wants a reaction, so just let him sit there and eventually he'll leave. He did leave, eventually, but not before paying his tab and tipping $0 for the record. That's not how you impress somebody. And he said, same time next week? With a wink that made my skin crawl up my back and try to escape through my collar. I'm calling in sick every Tuesday for the foreseeable future, okay? He came back the next Tuesday, and the Tuesday after that, and the one after that. Every single Tuesday, Theodore parked himself at my bar and sat there for hours, nursing a single beer, talking at me about whatever crossed his mind while I tried to work around him. He never did anything technically threatening, never raised his voice, never made a scene. He was just there, constantly, oppressively, inescapably there, like a mold that you can't get rid of, like a smell that has seeped into the walls. That is evocative imagery. Nicely done. My manager, Chris, noticed after the second week, who's the guy in the fedora? He's freaking out all the other customers. I explained the situation. Chris, to his credit, was sympathetic, but he also said, I mean, he's buying a beer, not being aggressive. Can't really kick him out for being weird, Danny. We'd lose half our regulars. I'd like to hear more about the regulars at this hipster bar. He said he lives in the Midwest, a Midwest hipster bar. It's got to be an amazing collection of stories you have, Danny. He wasn't wrong, but he also wasn't the one being slowly, psychologically suffocated by a man who smelled like a gas station bathroom in July. Marissa, predictably, was furious. This is stalking, Danny. This is textbook stalking behavior. He's coming to a public bar and buying a drink. I mean, I don't think that's stalking. He's coming to your bar every week on the same day, same time, after you blocked him on everything. That's stalking. The fact that he's doing it in a way that's hard to prove doesn't make it any less stalkery. It just makes him smarter than your average stalker, which really should terrify you more. Dude, Marissa's got a pretty good head on her shoulder, doesn't she? I'm telling you, she's been through some shit too. She's seen all of this through the looking glass. OP says she had a point. She always had a point. Marissa was the kind of friend who was almost annoyingly correct about everything. And I was the kind of friend who nodded along and then, did whatever I was going to do anyway. Well, that's just, the duality of man, isn't it? People tell me too all the time, hey, Red, here's some good advice. I'm like, thanks, trash can. I'm going to still do what I want. The Tuesday visits went on for about a month. Each time, Theodore would sit a little closer to wherever I was working. Each time, his comments would get a little more personal. He started referencing things from our first date that I'd said, little details that I did not even remember sharing, proving that he'd basically memorized our entire conversation. Yeah, either that or he's got a portable stenographer in his backpack. He once quoted something that I'd said about liking hiking and asked if I wanted to go on a hike with him that weekend. I said no, and he looked hurt. And then he looked angry. And then he looked hurt again. It was like watching a slot machine cycle through emotions. Well, if you line up 3 of those angry faces, you better fucking watch out, because you don't really know what he's capable of. The real problem wasn't truly the Tuesdays. The real problem was that I didn't know what was happening between the Tuesdays. See, now you got this cat and mouse game going on. Don't let him take up your mental real estate, okay? Please. Fucking weirdos are gonna do whatever they're gonna do, and honestly, it won't affect you 90% of the time. OP says, while Theodore was playing the long game at my bar, he was also playing a completely different game online, and I didn't find out about that until it was almost too late. Oh shit, World of Warcraft? About 6 weeks after the original date from hell, I decided to give grindr another shot. I know, but I'd been single for months. The Theodore situation seemed to have stabilized into a manageable annoyance. He shows up, I ignore him, he leaves, repeat. And, I was lonely. Loneliness, as mentioned in part 1, does make you dumb. And I was about to prove that theory for the second time. Yeah, I wish I could scold you or anything like that, but I don't know, fuck. Who doesn't understand what it's like to be lonely? I matched with a guy named Marcus. His profile was actually good. Normal. Recent photos, clear face, regular bio, 28, graphic designer, into hiking and bad horror movies. That's it. No thesaurus language, no intellectual conversation, no gentle sir anything, just a regular dude with a nice smile and good taste in movies. Yeah, good taste in bad movies, that's important. We talked for about a week. The conversation was easy, natural. He used normal words and made me laugh and didn't once bring up the age of consent or any other topic that would get you put on a watch list. He asked about my job, my hobbies, my taste in music. He shared his own stuff. It felt like talking to an actual human being, which shouldn't be a notable achievement, but I don't know. After Theodore, the bar was basically underground. After a week, Marcus suggested meeting up, and here's where he was different from Theodore in a way that should have been a red flag, but my dumb lonely brain read it as a green one. He suggested his place. I'm a great cook, he said. I'll make dinner. Way more relaxed than a restaurant. Now look, I can already hear you screaming at the screen again. Danny, no! Danny, you absolute walnut! Yeah, I think that's supposed to be me again. And you are right. Going to a stranger's apartment for a first date is not smart. It is not safe. It is, in fact, the kind of thing that after-school specials repeatedly warn you about. But here's the thing. In the gay dating world, going to someone's place isn't unusual. It's actually pretty common. The whole culture is a little more accelerated than straight dating. Yeah, I guess accelerated's one way to put it. Okay. Not always, but often enough that an apartment hangout for a first meeting didn't immediately trip my alarm bells. I mean, I hope that's changed since. I hope we're taking it a little slower in the years to come. What did trip my alarm bells, or what should have, was that Marcus didn't want a video chat first. I suggested it twice, and both times he deflected. "Oh, my camera's broken," and then, "I'm not really a video person," and I let it go. I should not have let it go. Oh, I see what's happening here. He gave me his address on a Saturday evening. It was across town in this older apartment complex that looked like it hadn't been updated since the early 90s. The parking lot had that particular neglected look, where the lines were barely visible and there were weeds growing up through the cracks. I parked, texted Marissa the address because she had insisted, and I walked up to the second floor. The hallway outside apartment 2B smelled weird. Not terrible, not yet, but weird. Oh no, I know exactly what this is. It was like old takeout and something vaguely chemical, like nail polish remover mixed with sweat. I figured it was just an old building thing. Old buildings smell weird. That's just life. Yes, we can rationalize all of this away. I knocked, and for about 3 seconds, everything was fine. I heard footsteps approaching the door. I straightened my shirt and ran a hand through my hair. I was nervous in the normal butterflies in your stomach way that you're supposed to be nervous before a first date. And then the door opened, and the world ended. It was Theodore. You're not gonna go, what the fuck? You can't possibly go inside. He catfished you all the way to his house. I'm sorry, but I do not go in there. What the fuck? I came all this way. I might as well. No, do not. It was Theodore. Theodore in his doorway, in a different shirt than usual, a blue one, like he had dressed up for this. He was beaming, this enormous, triumphant, ear-to-ear grin, like a villain who had just revealed his master plan. Which, yeah, that's exactly what he is. Like a chess player saying checkmate, like he had won something. "Danny," he said, "I knew you'd come." I stood there. My brain was doing that thing where it tries to process information, but the information is so fundamentally wrong that it just buffers, like a loading screen. I could feel my mouth hanging open. I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears. I could smell him. That smell rolling out of the apartment behind him, like a fog. You, I started. "I knew if I had the chance to show you the real me, you'd come around. You just need to get to know me in a comfortable setting. You catfished me here. I'm fucking leaving." He stepped aside and gestured into the apartment like a real estate agent showing a listing, except no real estate agent in history has ever tried to sell what I was looking at. Bro, if you go in there, what the fuck? Opie says, "I should have turned around." Yeah, I should have walked away immediately, gotten in my car, driven to a police station. Yeah, do that now. That's what a smart person would have done. That's what Marissa would have told me to do. That's what every single one of you out there listening would tell me to do. Then why did you not do it? For the love of all that is holy. You know that this can't end well. But I didn't do that. Because standing there, looking past Theodore into that apartment, I was hit with a wave of something beyond just disgust. It was morbid fascination. Oh no. It's not worth it, okay? I understand science and curiosity more than most, but this, it's not worth it. It's that same instinct that makes people slow down at car wrecks. The same part of your brain that makes you click on a link that says, "You don't want to see this," because it says, "You don't want to see this." I looked into that apartment and some broken, masochistic part of my brain said, "You really do need to see this." You need to understand the full scope of what it is that you're dealing with here. OP, no. You're gonna end up chopped up in buckets, you know? So I stepped inside, and Christ almighty, I saw. Can we ever unsee? Maybe the seeing wasn't worth it. How do I describe Theodore's apartment? I've been sitting here for 20 minutes trying to figure out how to put it into words, and I just keep deleting what I write because nothing truly captures it. Language was not designed for this. Human communication has its limits, and Theodore's apartment existed beyond those limits, in a realm of filth that no combination of letters was ever intended to convey. Holy shit, what a beautiful paragraph. You're painting quite a picture with your lack of picture. But I am gonna try to do it, says OP. The living room was the first thing that you saw when you walked in, and really, it set the tone for everything that followed. The carpet, which I think was originally beige, was this dark brownish gray, not because of a design choice. That was years of accumulated grime, spilled drinks, dropped food, and what I can only describe as, general biological seepage. Oh no! Watch out for the seepage! It was sticky. A sticky carpet? Holy fuck. We gotta go. Don't take your shoes off. You're gonna get bugs. You're gonna take something home. My shoes made a soft peeling sound with every step, like I was walking on tape. There were paths worn into the carpet, where Theodore clearly walked most often, darker, more matted than the rest, like animal trails through the underbrush. Yeah, it essentially is that. The couch was a disaster. It was one of those big, overstuffed sectionals that might have been nice at some point, maybe back in like 2008, maybe before Theodore happened to it. Now it was sunken in the middle from years of bearing his weight, the cushions compressed into permanent body-shaped craters. Does he sleep on that, or just lives there all the time? There were stains everywhere, not like, oh, I spilled some coffee type of stains, but like deep, mysterious, multi-layered stains that told stories that I never wanted to read. The armrests were darkened and shiny from skin oil. Ugh. There was a permanent grease outline on the back cushion where his head rested, a perfect silhouette, like a disgusting shroud of Turin. This is so horrible. Like, part of me's glad you're seeing, but I'm so sorry you had to see. Now, none of us can unsee. Around the couch was a perimeter of trash. Not scattered trash, but structured trash. It had built up over so long that it had formed geological layers, like sedimentary rock. The bottom layers were compressed and flattened, old pizza boxes, crushed chip bags, flattened soda cans. The middle layers, somewhat more recent, takeout containers with dried sauce still visible, empty energy drink cans, wadded up paper towels that, I didn't want to think about too hard. And the top layer was fresh, a half-eaten bag of Doritos, 3 open Mountain Dew bottles in various states of fullness, and a plate with what appeared to be the remains of chicken tenders that had been there long enough to develop a fuzzy green coat. He's probably still gonna eat it. This person does not give a fuck at all. How could you possibly expect to, like, maintain a relationship and truly love somebody else when you don't love yourself at all? You live like this and just think it's fine, that somebody else is gonna jump into the trash heap with you. Terrifying. The smell in the living room was bad. It was a thick, sweet, rotting smell, layered with body odor and stale grease, but it wasn't the smell. The living room was only the opening act. Oh no. The headliner was waiting down the hall. "Oh, let me give you the tour," Theodore said, with the enthusiasm of a man who genuinely believed that his apartment was impressive. And I think that's what got me. He wasn't embarrassed. He wasn't apologetic. He was proud. He's fucking lost in the sauce, dude. He was showing me his home the way you'd show someone a new renovation. He pointed out his anime figure collection, displayed on shelves that were somehow the cleanest surfaces in the apartment, like he'd allocated all his care and attention to these plastic figurines, while the rest of his entire life rotted around them. Dude, that's heavy right there. He showed me his gaming setup, 3 monitors, hey, me too, high five, surrounded by a fortress of empty cans and snack wrappers, with a gaming chair that had a visible body-shaped sweat stain on the seat. What do you want from me? I get sweaty when I play Street Fighter. Okay, well maybe you shouldn't play Street Fighter for 14 hours a day. That might fix it. He showed me his collection wall, which was covered in anime posters, some of which featured characters that looked uncomfortably young, in uncomfortably little clothing, and again, I felt my skin trying to leave my body. Yeah, that's all I need to see right there. You're a degenerate of the worst kind. Take him out back, put the boots to him. I don't think we're gonna fix it. The boots can't possibly fix something that's rotted for this long. The closest we can even get to fixing it is just having him dig his own grave and putting him against the wall, okay? Through all of this, Theodore was talking. He was always talking. A constant stream of words about his interests and his plans and his projects, none of which seemed to involve cleaning, of course. He was narrating the tour, like a museum docent, pointing out items of alleged significance while I walked through his apartment in a state of disassociative horror. That's what happens when we come to Reddx videos. Disassociative horror. You gotta turn your brain off for parts of it. And then we got to the hallway. The hallway was where things shifted from disgusting to genuinely disturbing. The walls, which were painted that standard apartment off-white, had marks on them. Not just scuff marks, but streaks. Yellowish, brownish streaks at roughly hand height, like someone had been wiping their hands on the walls as they walked by. Some of them were fresh, some were old and darkened. There were dozens of them, maybe hundreds. Streaks? What are the streaks? I stopped and stared at one of the fresher streaks, and a horrible realization clicked into place. I knew what these were. I had seen Theodore make one of these before, at a restaurant, on the wall next to our booth at Koi Pond. The tonsil stone hallway. Theodore, I said, and my voice was very quiet. Are these tonsil stones on the walls? He glanced at the streaks like he was seeing them for the first time. Oh, yeah, I mean, I get them a lot, you know. I've got really deep tonsil crypts. The doctor says it's genetic. He shrugged, like we were discussing a minor inconvenience. Like the walls of his apartment weren't plastered with calcified throat pellets. Oh my God. At what point do you just turn and run screaming into the night, you know? You just wipe them on the wall, I said. It wasn't a question. It was a statement of fact that my brain was trying very hard to accept. Well, where else am I gonna put them? He asked, genuinely confused. Where else am I gonna put them? A trash can, Theodore! A tissue, the toilet, your pocket even, you unbelievable gremlin of a man! Yeah, throw it on the car. It doesn't have to go on the wall, okay? For God's sake. Literally anywhere other than the walls of your home. I wanted to scream this. I didn't scream this. I was too deep in shock to really scream anything. Wow. And still the tour continues. Still you've not fucking backed your way out towards the front door. He kept on walking. I kept on following. I don't know why I kept on following. Trauma response, maybe? Morbid curiosity run amok? the sunk cost fallacy of horror. Yes, all of those. And then we reached the bathroom. I don't know if I'm ready. This is really horrible. I need you to understand something before I describe this bathroom. I need you to understand that I have seen things. I worked as a janitor in college. I cleaned up after frat parties. I've dealt with things that would make most people gag. I have a strong stomach and a pretty high tolerance for gross. I mean, so do I, but there are always fucking limits, OP, and I think we're reaching them. But this bathroom, it broke me. Theodore opened the bathroom door with a casual, "Oh, and here's the bathroom," and a wall of smell hit me so hard that I actually staggered backwards. It was like walking into a physical object. The smell was wet. It had texture. It was this unholy combination of raw sewage, mildew, ammonia, and something sweet and rotting that I couldn't identify and really don't want to. Oh, God! It's heavy! My spine is fucking powder, you know that? Why are you doing this? My eyes watered. Not from emotion, but the actual chemical composition of the air. Yeah, the ammonia is burning my fucking eyes out of their sockets, which is good. Means I won't have to see the tonsil stone hallway or the disgusting living room again. Why this? The bathroom floor was covered in a thin layer of moisture? Not water. Not exactly. It was this grayish, slightly viscous film that coated everything from the base of the toilet to the edges of the tub, and I could see footprints in it. Theodore's footprints, bare, preserved in the film like fossils. The bath mat, which was originally white, I think, was now a deep yellowish brown. God damn it. And it looked like it had not been washed since it had been purchased. It squelched when I accidentally stepped on it. Squelched! I felt moisture seep through my shoe, and I made a sound that wasn't quite a word. Yeah, fuck! That's the sound. Yeah, fuck. The shower was growing things. The tile grout, which was probably once white, was now black with mold. But the mold had graduated beyond just the grout. It had spread onto the tiles themselves, creeping upward in fractal patterns like some kind of alien vegetation. You don't want to fucking hit that with a sponge or something? Dump some bleach on it? We're fine with growing a fucking fungal colony on the bathroom wall. Black mold can fucking kill you, you know? I'm sure that's all Theodore wishes for. Somebody who lives like this is in a state of deep depression. He's waiting to shuffle off this mortal coil. It's sad on some level, but Jesus Christ, dude. You gotta put in, like, some work before I can really sympathize at all ever. And if you truly do seek the sweet release of death, you know, like, just, you can't dig your own grave, we'll take care of it. The shower curtain was translucent enough that I could see the inside was coated in a pinkish orange slime, that bacterial biofilm that grows in perpetually damp places. There was a washcloth hanging over the faucet that looked like it had been there since the Clinton administration, and it had achieved a level of stiffness that suggested that it could stand up on its own. Like, he's disgusted by his own bathroom, too. The sink was caked with toothpaste residue so thick that it had formed stalactites on the rim of the basin. I mean, that part surprises me. He uses toothpaste? I guess OP never really mentioned any dental horror, so good job, Theodore. The one and only thing he does correctly is taking care of his mouth rocks. There were beard trimmings everywhere, not just on the counter, but the walls, on the mirror, stuck in dried globs of soap or toothpaste or something I couldn't identify. The mirror itself was so spotted and smeared that you could barely see your own reflection, which was honestly a mercy, because I did not want to see what my face was doing. Just this grimace of pain. But the toilet. Oh, God, the toilet. I need to take a break here. I need to steel myself. Okay, me too, I guess. Hold on. Okay. The toilet. The bowl itself was stained in a way that suggested that it hadn't been cleaned in years. Not months, years. There was a ring of buildup around the water line that was so thick that it actually changed the interior geography of the bowl. Now it's more convex than concave because of all the filth we've stuffed inside of it. The seat was up, of course it was, and the underside of the seat had a coating of dried something that I'm not going to describe in detail because I truly do want you to be able to eat again someday. Yeah, that day is not today. It's piss, right? He just flaky, dehydrated, yellow-brown piss on the underside of his toilet seat. This is the Reddx diet plan. The thing that caught my eye, the thing that would haunt me forever, was the tank. The top of the toilet tank was slightly ajar. Not a lot, just enough to notice. And there was a smell coming from it that was distinctly different from the general bathroom apocalypse. The smell was sharper, more concentrated, more fecal. God. Hey, Theo, I said, and I'm not particularly proud that I'm still here, still in this bathroom, still on this tour of human failure, but I asked him, what's up with your toilet tank? And it was then that Theodore's face did something weird. For the first time since I'd arrived, he looked almost sheepish, almost embarrassed. In a sea of wall tonsil stones and carpet sediment and shower mold, this was the thing that gave him pause. Oh yeah, well, so the handle broke like a year ago, and I can't flush it the regular way, so I have to manually lift the flapper in the tank to flush it. Okay. And sometimes, you know, if I'm in a rush or like the water's not filling right, sometimes it's easier to just go in the tank. He said this quickly, like ripping off a Band-Aid. Like, if he got the words out fast enough, maybe they'd hurt less. Go in the tank, I repeated. Yeah, you poop in the tank of your toilet. I mean, not every time, just sometimes. When the bowl is being difficult. When the bowl is being difficult. As if the toilet bowl was a stubborn employee who sometimes refused to cooperate. As if there was some valid scenario in which a grown adult man looks at a malfunctioning toilet and says, you know what? I'm just gonna shit in the back part. As if this was a solution to a problem and not like, I don't know, a whole new category of problem that I don't even think has a fucking name. There are no words for this. You're right. The way you described it earlier, the human language was not meant to convey things like this. OP says, I lifted the tank. Why? Why? I don't know why. I'd already been told what was in there. You just wanted to see it. Seeing is believing or something. I already knew, but some part of me needed to see it with my own eyes. The same way that some part of me had walked into this apartment in the first place. The same broken, self-destructive curiosity that had been driving my decisions all of this evening. I lifted the lid, and I looked inside. Oh yeah, there's a lot of poop in there. Okay, put the lid back on. OP says, I'm not going to describe what I saw in detail because I can't. I physically cannot type the words. Thank God. What I will tell you is that the tank was not functioning as a toilet tank anymore. It was functioning as something else entirely. The water was not watercolored. The mechanical parts were coated in a substance that had fundamentally altered their function. The smell that came out when I lifted that lid hit me like a punch in the face, and I gagged. Actually gagged! The first real, physical, involuntary gag of the evening, which is remarkable, considering everything else that I had already seen. Yeah, I think I tapped out a little bit earlier. I didn't make it as long as Danny did. I put the lid down and I stared at Theodore. He stared at me. There was this moment of silence that felt like it lasted 1,000 years. It's really not as bad as it looks, he said. Oh, it was exactly as bad as it looked. It was possibly even worse than it looked. I need to go, I said. Finally. What? But I was gonna make dinner. I got stuff for pasta. The idea of Theodore making pasta. Theodore, with his hands, the hands that produced tonsil stones and wiped them on the walls, the hands that opened the toilet tank he'd been defecating into for a year, those hands touching pasta, cooking pasta, and serving it to me on a plate that lived in this apartment. Oh, my stomach did a full revolution. I have to go, I said again, already moving toward the door. Danny, wait! Don't leave! Not again! His voice changed. That desperate, needy quality from the grindr messages was back in full force. You just got here! You haven't even seen my bedroom! I did not want to see his bedroom. Yeah, we've seen more than enough already. I didn't want to see more of anything. I wanted to leave this apartment, get in my car, drive to the nearest hazmat facility, and have them hose me down with whatever chemical they use to clean up nuclear waste. Theodore, I said, and I stopped at the door, and something in me finally snapped. Not in an angry way, but in a tired way. In a, I'm done being polite about this type of way. Theodore, you catfished me. You made a fake profile, you pretended to be someone else to get me here, and that's not okay. That's not romantic. That's not showing me the real you. That's manipulation. That is lying. His face went through the cycle, the Theodore cycle. Hurt, anger, self-pity, rationalization. I was getting pretty good at recognizing the stages. I had to, he said. You just blocked me. You wouldn't give me a chance. I knew if I could just get you here, if you could see how I lived, then you'd understand me. I have more questions than ever. Theodore, I can see how you live. I can see it and I can smell it. You got tonsil stones on your walls, mold in your shower, you poop in the tank of your toilet. This is not a get-to-know-me situation. This is a call the health department situation. You're just like everyone else, he whispered, and his eyes were wet. And for one terrible second, I felt bad. For one tiny, stupid, empathy-poisoned second, I felt guilty for saying these things to a person who clearly was struggling. I mean, that's the human part of you, OP, but we're working to get rid of that, okay? He doesn't need sympathy. He needs a fucking psychiatrist. Then I remembered that he created a fake identity to lure me to his apartment, and the guilt evaporated like water in a hot pan. Do not come to the brewery anymore, I said. Don't message me. Don't make fake profiles. Don't contact me in any way. We are done. There is no us. There never was an us. I'm asking you clearly and directly to leave me alone. I left. I walked out the door, down the stairs, across the parking lot, and got in my car. I locked the doors, and I sat there shaking for a very long time. Yeah, and you chose this for yourself, OP. Not to fucking pile on or anything, but why did you go in at all? Oh my god. OP says, then I called Marissa. Marissa, I said, I need to tell you something, and I need you to not say, I told you so, until I'm completely finished. Oh God, what happened? And so I told her. Everything. The fake profile, the apartment, the trash strata, the anime figures, the tonsil stone hallway, the shower ecosystem, and the toilet tank. I told her all of it, and when I got to the part about the tank, there was a silence so profound that I thought the call had dropped again. He shits in the tank, she said, very slowly, like she was trying to process each word individually. He shits in the tank. Of his toilet. Of his toilet. The tank part. The tank part. Another silence, and then, isn't that called an upper decker? Yeah, it is, Marissa. You really know your poop terminology. And that, my friends, is how Theodore earned his name. From that moment on, in all conversations between me and Marissa, and eventually among our entire friend group, he was no longer Theodore, no longer Theo, no longer gentle sir seeks more. He was UpperDeckerBeard, and he was about to get so much worse. He didn't respect your line in the sand. That's not great. Like, how much more fucking unhinged can we get from here? Oh, God! This story's so good. Thank you, OP. I feel truly blessed to have a neckbeard story of this caliber. Finally! So after the apartment incident, I did what I should have done weeks earlier, and I went to the police. Hey, amen to that. I sat in a fluorescent lit office at the station and explained everything to an officer named Rodriguez, who was clearly trying very hard to maintain a professional expression and failing. I showed him the grindr messages. I showed him the 47 message barrage from after our first date. I told him about the Tuesday visits to my workplace. I told him about the catfish profile and being lured to the apartment. Rodriguez took notes. He asked very good questions, and then he said the thing that every stalking victim hears and every stalking victim hates. Has he explicitly threatened you? He showed up at my workplace repeatedly after I blocked him on everything. That's concerning, but it is a public establishment. He made a fake profile to trick me into coming into his apartment. That's dishonest, but not technically illegal. He sent me 47 messages in one night on a dating app, which is designed for messaging. I could feel the frustration building in my chest like a pressure cooker. Everything Theodore had done was wrong. Everything he'd done was scary and invasive and boundary violating, but none of it individually was illegal enough. None of it was dramatic enough. It was all in that gray zone where stalkers live, where every individual action can be explained away, but the pattern is what adds up to something terrifying. Rodriguez, to his credit, could see my frustration. Look, he said, I believe you. I can see this guy's a problem, but for a restraining order, I need documented evidence of a pattern of harassment that a judge would consider threatening. Keep saving everything. Screenshot every message. Document every time he shows up. If he escalates, and unfortunately guys like this usually do, come back and we'll have a stronger case. So I just wait for him to escalate? I know that's not what you want to hear. It was not what I wanted to hear. Yeah, super unfortunate. He could show up in the middle of the night with a knife at your house. You know what I mean? Like, this could go really bad really fast. And I guess the paper trail isn't there yet. How does it get there? Oh, man. This story's full of mysteries and twists and turns. OP says, I left the station feeling defeated and exposed. I had done the right thing. I'd gone to the authorities, and the authorities had basically said, oh yeah, that sucks, but our hands are tied until he does something worse, which meant that I was living in this limbo, where I knew that something bad was coming, but couldn't really do anything about it except for wait and document and hope that when it finally happened, it happened in a way that it was provable enough to matter. That is fucking supremely frustrating, dude. Marissa was also livid. That's insane! He catfished you to get you to his apartment. How is that not enough? I went voluntarily. Nobody forced me through the door. He tricked you. Yeah, but I still walked in. Under false pretenses! I know, but the law is the law. And as it turns out, it's not great at handling situations where someone's being systematically terrorized by a man who poops in his own toilet tank. There's simply no checkbox for that on the police report. Can you write in your own box? I went home that night and did the only thing that I could do. I documented everything. I made a folder on my computer titled UDB. UpperDeckerBeard, obviously. And then I started filling it with screenshots, dates, times, description, every Tuesday visit, every message, every piece of evidence that this man was orbiting my life like a smelly, fedora-wearing satellite. I changed my grindr settings, made my profile unsearchable, removed any identifying information. I told my manager Chris to let me know immediately if Theodore showed up on a day other than Tuesday. I told Jake, my other coworker Sam, I told everybody at the brewery what he looked like and what to do if he came in and I wasn't there. I was building a fortress, a real one this time, not just digital. I was preparing for war. I mean, it sucks, but yeah, you're gonna win out in the end. Good always triumphs or something like that. But UpperDeckerBeard, as it turned out, wasn't done being creative. The catfish had worked in his mind. He had gotten me to his apartment. He'd shown me his authentic self. And in Theodore's twisted version of reality, my horrified rejection wasn't a rejection at all. It was just another test, another obstacle in his love quest. The messages found a way through. They always find a way through. New profiles, new platforms. Even at one point, a handwritten letter slipped under the door of the brewery after hours. I still have it. 3 pages long, front and back, written in surprisingly neat handwriting that somehow made it worse. It called me his soulmate. It said that he'd been patient, and that he knew I'd come back when I was ready to accept real love. Bro, you gotta start with loving yourself. This shit is heinous. I don't know what's going through your brains. Part 3 is where it all comes to a head. And I'll be honest with you, writing this has been hard. Part 2's been sitting in my drafts for a week, because every time I think about the apartment, about that bathroom, about lifting up the tank lid, I feel the nausea come back like muscle memory. But all of you deserve to know how this ends, and it does end. I promise you that. It ends. Yes. Mercifully. Please let it end. TLDR. UpperDeckerBeard started showing up at my job every Tuesday. Then he catfished me with a fake grindr profile to lure me to his apartment, which was a biohazard site featuring tonsil stone walls, shower mold that could qualify as a nature preserve, and a toilet tank he'd been using as a backup toilet for a year. I confronted him, told him to leave me alone, went to the police, and started building a documentation folder. He responded with new fake profiles and a handwritten love letter. Part 3 is the finale. Part 3 coming soon. The ending is satisfying. I promise. Yeah. Slimy yet satisfying. That's what they say. I'm pretty sure my soul left my body through that entire shit. That's one of the most horrifying stories we've ever read on the channel. The only story we've had that's even close to that gross recently is The Bowling Princess. And that was just a one-off. Remember that? Where she's like, oh yeah, I let the flies get in my wounds because flies clean wounds or something like that. But this is like a whole nother level. It's been a while since we walked around in a beard nest, and I'll be honest, I don't ever want to come back. I don't think we do. In part 3, OP's not going back to the same apartment, so I'm looking forward to it. This fucking dude, while he might be skirting the line and not technically doing anything illegal, he definitely deserves some good old street justice, you know? And for now, I'll just let the gubbins give it to him, and we can see what to do about these points for today.
Theodore not a stalker. He is a dedicated brand ambassador for the brewery. He sit for 3 hours with 1 beer because he is a sip master who wants to savor every molecule of yeast, just like he savor the snack he find in his own beard forest. Then he used catfish profile to invite Danny to his science museum of grossness, because Theodore is a very proud curator. He grow his own mold, He decorate walls with throat pebbles like fancy wallpaper, and he used toilet tank as a compost bin for efficiency. This man is living in 3024 while we all stuck in 2024 with our functioning plumbing and shame. Gubbins.
He's a yeasty boy. I'll say that's what we've learned.
The phrase, "where else am I gonna put them," regarding the calcified debris of his own infections, reveals a psyche that has completely severed itself from the concept of a shared reality. He does not see a biohazard. He sees a gallery of his own existence, curated with the same entitlement that leads him to believe a restraining order is just a test of true love. Dark Gubbins.
Is the tonsil throat thing like an infection? I'm not sure, but he's definitely severed from reality. I give it to Dark Gubbins today, and that means...
It's a tie!
I guess Bumble, like, that's the one where women are supposed to initiate, so a gay man can't have a relationship on Bumble.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
This is UpperDeckerBeard 3, Legal Reckoning. Dude, I love that. I love a reckoning of any sort. Like, legal reckoning, meh. I prefer, like, life reckoning, but, you know, that's fine. We take what we can get. I'm hungry for some justice. OP says, this is it, the finale. The end of the UpperDeckerBeard saga. 3 quite succinct and delicious parts, I'll say. Reliving parts 1 and 2 was hard enough, and part 3 is where things got genuinely scary before they got better. Oh, damn. But you all deserve the ending, so, here it is. I mean, yeah, I'm glad things got better for you. Did they get better for UpperDeckerBeard, or did they get, like, considerably worse? Because I know it's what I'm hoping for. So, quick recap for anyone just joining. I went on a grindr date with a man named Theodore, who wiped the tonsil stone on a restaurant wall, stalked me at my workplace every Tuesday for a month, catfished me with a fake profile to lure me to his apartment, which was a biohazard nightmare featuring tonsil stone hallways and a toilet tank that he used as a backup toilet. Okay, but we established it wasn't actually like a backup, he was just using it. And then he continued harassing me through new profiles and a handwritten letter long after I told him to leave me alone. I went to the police, who told me to document everything and come back when he escalated. And yeah, he escalated. I wish I could even pretend that I was surprised, you know? This is like derangement of the deepest sort. He's got a disorder, is what this is. He needs a psychiatrist. Some drugs, that'll sort him out. Just short circuit his brain, and he just goes through his life like a zombie. But that's fine. That's better than whatever the fuck this is, isn't it? Okay, anyway. The weeks after the apartment incident were tense. That's the best word for it. Tense. Yeah, I live my life like that, really. It's like that feeling before a thunderstorm, where the air gets real heavy and the sky turns that weird greenish color, and you know something's coming, but you don't know when or how bad it's going to be. I'm glad you're not a meteorologist, OP. Green cloud? What? I never see that before. Darkly, it's gonna rain soon. Let's get inside. OP says, I was living in that feeling 24/7. That's gotta suck. OP explained it early on. Like, a stalker like this is getting into all of the cracks and crevices, and people, places, and things you thought were safe are no longer. And yeah, it kind of flips your whole shit upside down. So I sympathize. I definitely wouldn't have gone inside the apartment. Like, that could have killed it dead right there. You know, he would have gotten the message if you just left. But OP, for, yeah, science or whatever reason, he's letting them hold on to hope. And I don't know that that's always the correct way to go. Anyway, the Tuesday visits to the brewery did stop, which you'd think would be a relief, but it was not a relief. It was terrifying, because when a stalker's showing up at your job on a predictable schedule, at least you kind of know where he is, you know when to expect him, and you can prepare. But when the visits stop, you don't think, oh good, he's moved on. You think, oh God, what's he planning instead? And the answer, as it turned out, was a lot. I mean, what could he possibly do? I got my house and my job, and those are the places that I go. You want to hunt me online and whatnot, I guess. OP says the new Grindr profiles just kept on coming. Is that the only gay dating app that exists? Like, could we not go somewhere else? I'm sure Tinder has a gay side to it. You just swap that over and, I don't know, hope he doesn't find you. Opie says every time I blocked one, another one would pop up within days. Different names, different stolen photos, but always the same conversation style. He just couldn't help himself. Within 5 or 6 messages, the thesaurus would come out, the scintillating, and the discourse, and the overly formal sentence structure that no normal human being would ever use in a chat app. I'd recognize it, block it, screenshot it, add it to the policeman folder, lather, rinse, repeat. I mean, it is really weird. How many profiles could he possibly be creating? Is he doing this all by hand, or does he know how to talk to computers? Because you can probably script something that does it really easy, but I believe sincerely that he's just wasting his time, rotting away further in front of the computer to chase down his boy love or whatever this is. Then the profiles started getting more aggressive. Instead of trying to catfish me into conversation, they'd open with things like, I know you know who this is, and you can't block me forever, Danny, and we're meant to be together and you're fighting fate. I screenshotted all of these. The folder was, getting pretty thick. Yeah, thick like UpperDeckerBeard. Only, yeah, it doesn't smell as bad, I guess. And then he managed to find my personal email. Damn, bro. Guess we gotta burn that one down. I don't know how. I've gone over it 100 times and I still do not know how. My email wasn't on any of my social media. It wasn't on the brewery's website. The only thing I can figure is that at some point during our original week of chatting on Grindr, maybe I mentioned something that let him piece it together. Maybe my last name, maybe a detail about my college. Maybe he found an old account somewhere with a username similar to mine and worked backward from there. The man couldn't maintain basic hygiene, but apparently he could run a digital investigation with the dedication of an FBI agent when properly motivated by his own delusion. Yeah, this guy he's sparing no expense. He's going to every single end to make this happen. Fuck, he's got a cork board with your name and a bunch of red yarn all over it. It's terrifying. It's also hilarious, but I think mostly, like, in the situation, it's terrifying. Once it's over, we can step back and be like, oh yeah, wasn't exactly fun, but I do see the humor in it now. That guy was a fucking lunatic. Anyway, Opie says, I don't remember giving him enough information to find me, but he found it. And one Wednesday morning, I opened my inbox to find an email from UpperDeckerTheo@gmail.com. Dude, I do not believe that is a fucking email. If it's not, I kind of want to go, like, scoop it up, you know? We could resell an email like that for tens of dollars. The subject line read, a letter to my beloved. It was long. Really long, like several thousand words long, and I'm not going to reproduce the whole thing because honestly, it makes me feel sick. But I will give you the highlights. I mean, you don't have to repost the whole thing. Maybe you redact some things, you know, and just like copy paste a little bit. I'm just saying, I'd like to see it. But it probably gets like really personal and weird because this guy, he's gone on an entire journey with your online footprint, OP. That's what this is. He's eating a plate full of spaghetti in front of your Instagram profile picture, like in the dark, you know? It's kind of terrifying how far this is going. By the highlights, of course, I do mean the lowlights. And by lowlights, I mean the parts that made my blood run cold. He opened by telling me that he understood that I was scared of the intensity of our connection, and that my rejection was actually a sign of how deeply I felt for him. This is real delusion. There's people out there that operate like this, and holy shit, scary. I hope I never run into one of these. He said that true love was never easy, and that every great romance involved obstacles that the lovers must overcome. Yes, like wiping your tonsil stones on the wall. It seems like you're very proficient, maybe even addicted to doing that. Would you give all that up for OP? He wouldn't. He'd be like, OP has to accept me for who I am. I know the line already. Back to front. He compared us to various anime couples that I've never even heard of. He said that he'd been doing a lot of self-reflection. Narrator's note, he had not. And that he cleaned his apartment. Narrator's note, I sincerely doubt it. And that he was ready to be the partner that I deserved. Yeah, he's trying to lure you back over there to look at the things that he cleaned. Maybe he did, like, tidy something up. Take a bag of trash out to the curb. But I don't believe he deep cleaned that shit in the way that it needs to be deep cleaned. You gotta throw the whole toilet out. What are you doing here? Don't be the partner that I deserve. Be the person that you deserve. Okay? That's really what all this boils down to. You're never going to be able to make a human connection until you do that part of it. Anyway, then it got worse. Yay. I hope that doesn't mean he showed up to your house. He wrote that he'd been keeping an eye on me to make sure that I was safe. He mentioned casually that my car looked nice after the car wash. I had gotten the car wash 3 days prior. He mentioned that my apartment building's front door doesn't lock properly, and that I should really talk to the landlord about that. Dude, what? He's been in your house, is what you're saying? Is there fucking physical confrontation imminent, bro? I'm stealing myself for that already. Like, I hate everything that's happened. You probably got enough to go to the police now. Can you just go in there, double check? He said the lock on my door doesn't work. I think he was inside my house. Can we put him somewhere? Get him the help that he needs and the rest that I need. Holy shit. He said he'd noticed I'd been going to the gym more and that he liked the results. Bro, fuck. This really is awful. It is super fucking terrible. I don't have any other word for how uncomfortable all of this makes me feel. At some point, just show up at his house again. Show up at his house with a shotgun. And as soon as he opens the door, you poke it in his face and say one more word. If I hear one more word... And then he'll probably test it. And then, you said one more word. You got to follow through on it. But that'll solve the problems, too. Then you got to avoid the Theos in prison. There's no UpperDeckerBeard, but there are dudes who will probably chase you around, offer you a Snickers bar, and spend 15 years trying to play a game of Wiggle Worm. No! I'm not about it! Anyway, he was watching me, definitely. He was not just showing up at my work. He was not just making fake profiles, he was physically surveilling me. He knew where I lived, he knew my car, he knew my routine. He'd been close enough to see me going to and from the gym, close enough to know that my building's front door was broken, close enough to notice that I had gotten a car wash. How is it possible that you have not spotted him at this point? Fat man just stealth 100 or something like that? I guess most of that shit's visible through binoculars. He goes up to your building's front door while you're not there. Yeah, you can't really spot him. But I'm surprised you haven't caught him in the act at least once. Maybe that's where all this is headed. I'm on the edge of my seat. I love this saga. Opie says, I sat in my kitchen and read that email 3 times. And each time, I felt smaller. That's the thing about stalking that people don't really understand until it happens to them. Dude, you're doing a really great job of putting me in your shoes for all this, though. I'm fucking taking the ride, and I'm sorry it happened, but you're right. If you could share this perspective with new people, maybe they'll understand others just a little bit better. It makes you feel small. It makes the entire world feel small. Every space that you thought was yours, your home, your car, your route to work, your gym, well, suddenly all of that belongs to someone else, too. Yeah, I thought you were just talking online, but the physical thing is a huge escalation. Holy shit. Suddenly every space has eyes. Suddenly nowhere is safe because the person who is watching you has proven over and over that there is no boundary that they will not cross. Yeah, like shitting in the top of their toilet tank. That's a wild boundary to cross. You become basically inhuman after that. There is no wall that they won't scale. I mean, maybe if he was skinnier, you know. No line that they won't step over. Well, the next line has to be made of landmines, I guess. I like how I had a quip for each one of those. The worst part is the doubt. You start doubting yourself. Maybe you're overreacting. Maybe it's not that serious. Maybe you did something to cause this. Yeah, I sort of victim blamed you a little bit in the beginning there. You shouldn't have gone into the apartment, though. That's real. I don't think that's victim blaming. I'm trying to help. I'm pointing out the things you could do differently next time. And I don't think you did anything to cause this. This was a shit hand that you got dealt. And I understand your curiosity on some level, but that already could have turned out a lot worse than it did. You could be, like, in a box, 6 feet under. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Opie says, maybe if you'd been nicer or more direct or handled the first date differently, then none of this would be happening. Yeah, sort of victim blaming yourself. It's a fucked up place to be in your head. I can't say that I've ever been there before. I hope to never, but again, you're painting the whole thing out real nice. Real evocative, I think is an adjective I used on you before. Marissa came over that night, and she read the email on my phone, and she was quiet for a really long time. Not her usual fired up, righteous anger quiet. A different kind of quiet. A scared kind. Danny, she said, this is real. This is actually dangerous. I know. You need to go back to the police. Tonight, like right now. I know. Bring everything. The folder, the emails, all of it. I know, Marissa. And you're staying at my place tonight. I didn't argue. For the first time in this whole saga, I didn't bother to argue with Marissa. Yeah, you know what's at stake at this point, don't you? I'm glad she could be the voice of reason. What happens if Marissa didn't come over and be like, you need to do this now? Maybe UpperDeckerBeard shows up tonight. We don't know. Thank God we don't live in that fucking timeline. So Opie says, I packed a bag, grabbed my laptop with my folder, and went to her apartment. Then the next morning, I went back to the police station and asked for Officer Rodriguez. Rodriguez remembered me. He took one look at my face and waved me back to his desk without me having to even explain why it was I was there. I opened the folder and I showed him everything. Every fake grindr profile, 17 at this point, I'd been counting. I mean, do you have to swipe and, like, agree to talk to each other? I guess it's not like that on Grindr. I don't know what goes on over there. I guess Bumble, like, that's the one where women are supposed to initiate. So a gay man can't have a relationship on Bumble. But yeah, try Tinder. I don't know. This is fucking wild that they could just approach you, drop things in your inbox that I have to read and or look at. Ugh. Every message I handed over, the handwritten letter, the email, especially the email, I watched his face change as he read the part about my car wash and my front door and my gym routine, and his jaw tightened. His pen stopped moving. This is different, he said. Yeah, said OP. This is surveillance. He's admitted to following you, in writing. OP says, yeah. Rodriguez made some calls. He talked to someone in another room for about 15 minutes while I sat at his desk and stared at the wall and tried not to think about Theodore standing outside my apartment building, testing the front door lock. When Rodriguez came back, he had a different energy. Less, sorry, my hands are tied, and more, okay, we're fucking doing this. He explained the process. I could file for a restraining order based on the documented pattern of harassment and the email that constituted a direct admission of surveillance. He'd write up a report that would include everything in the folder. A judge would review it, and given the volume and escalation of the behavior, Rodriguez said he was cautiously optimistic that it would be granted. In the meantime, he suggested I vary my routine, not walk alone at night, and let my employer know about the situation formally, so there was a record. Yeah, all of these good ideas. Restraining order, like, it rarely works. I see it tossed about like it's a catch-all solution, but I think you really do need to document and such. It was good advice from Rodriguez, and thank God that's the advice that OP didn't argue with earlier. He's like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do all that. Because you do want this fucking monkey off your back, don't you? Anyway, I filed the paperwork that same day. Rodriguez walked me through every form. He was kind about it, patient, and I remember thinking that this man had probably seen much worse than my situation, but he still treated it like it mattered anyway. I appreciated that. I still appreciate that. Yeah, Rodriguez is one of the good ones, I'll tell you that. He didn't let the job get him all fucking jaded to the thing. He still sees that people are people generally. Some of them people pretty shitty. You probably deal with a large amount of those on a daily basis. But yeah, somebody comes to the station asking for help. You want to be the person for them. That's a real MVP of a character, I'll say. The restraining order was granted only 6 days later. Whoop, whoop. I got the call from Rodriguez on a Thursday afternoon, and I sat down on my couch and cried. Not sad crying, not scared crying, relief crying. The kind of crying you do when you've been holding your breath for weeks, and someone finally tells you that it is okay to exhale now. The order meant that Theo couldn't contact me, come within 500 feet of me, or come within 500 feet of my home or workplace. Violation was a misdemeanor for the first offense, and could escalate to a felony for repeated violations. It was real, legal, and concrete. It was a wall that even Theodore couldn't explain away as some sort of test or obstacle, part of his romantic love quest. Yeah. If the delusion continues, then you will end up behind bars, getting the help that you need. Marissa and I celebrated that night with some cheap wine at her apartment. Jake and Sam from the brewery came over. My friend Devin bought pizza, and we sat around Marissa's living room and told the full story, start to finish, for the first time to a complete audience. And the reactions were everything from horrified gasps to howling laughter. When I got to the toilet tank part, Devin literally fell off the couch. Jake had to leave the room because he was laughing so hard that he couldn't breathe, and Marissa just sat there nodding with this "I told you" expression that she had earned every right to wear. But she surely didn't realize the depths of this fucking maniac. I guess she did. OP loops Marissa into everything from what I've seen. Anyway, OP says, for one night, it did feel like it was all over. For one night, I felt safe and surrounded and like the worst was truly behind me. But the worst was not behind me. Not yet. One more thing had to happen. Yeah, I guess he fucking tests the boundary as he probably would. It happened on a Saturday, 2 weeks after the restraining order was granted. 2 weeks of beautiful, uneventful silence. No messages, no profiles, no Tuesday visits, no emails, nothing. Theodore had apparently been served the order and, against all odds, seemed to be complying with it. I was starting to relax, starting to sleep through the night again, starting to feel like my life was mine once more. I was at the brewery, Saturday night, decent crowd, normal vibe. I was behind the bar with Jake pouring beers and chatting with the regulars, existing in that pleasant autopilot mode that you get into when work is busy but manageable. Yeah, that shit makes the time fly so fast. That's the workplace that I like. But I don't think I'd like it all the time, you know. Just time skip me 2 or 3 hours. The front door was propped open because it was a nice day, and Chris liked the inviting atmosphere of an open door. That's probably good bar tip, you know. OP says, I even remember the weather, the sunlight coming through the windows, and I remember thinking for the first time in months that things really were going to be okay. And then I heard Jake say, "Oh shit," in a really quiet voice, and I looked up. Theodore was standing in the doorway. He looked different, worse somehow, which I wouldn't have thought was possible. He'd lost the fedora, His hair was loose and unwashed and hung around his face in greasy curtains. He was wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt that might have been white at some point, but now it was a patchwork of stains and holes. And he wasn't wearing shoes. He truly is a monster. No shirt, no shoes, no service. And you're gonna have to take that dirty ass shirt off too. He was barefoot in a public brewery on a Saturday afternoon with feet that I could see even from across the room were black on the soles. Bro, what happened to this dude? Can somebody explain the bare feet to me? But the thing that scared me wasn't his appearance, it was his face, his expression. There was nothing behind his eyes. You better duck behind the... He's gonna pull out pistol right now. Holy shit. I don't like this at all. There was no desperation, no anger, no sadness. Just this flat, blank, disconnected look. Like a machine running on the very last of its battery. Like someone who had made a decision and was well past the point of feeling anything about it. Bro, you get behind the counter now. Now! Why are you still standing up? He saw me behind the bar and he started walking toward me. Theodore, stop. I held up my hand. My voice was steady, which surprised me because my insides were fucking liquid. You can't be here. There's a restraining order and you know this, and you need to leave right now. He didn't stop. He kept walking. The customers between the door and the bar parted around him like water around a rock, not because he asked them to, but because something about the way that he was moving made people instinctively get out of the way. There was a wrongness to it. An energy. How are you not shitting your pants right now, OP? Ducking down behind the bar. So I know what's gonna happen next, or what I think is gonna happen next. Would some fat man really come into a loaded bar and just empty his firearm over a love quarrel, over a restraining order? I don't know. Is it possible? Absolutely. But I hope that's not what fucking happens. I'll say that. That's like taking this to the most extreme degree. Maybe he'll just try to knife him. Like that's better somehow. The whole room felt the wrongness. Conversations died. People turned to look. The bar top chatter that is always present in a brewery on a Saturday went silent. Jake had already pulled out his phone. I could see him dialing out of the corner of my eye. Good. Good. Theodore reached the bar, and he stood there, close enough that I could smell him. That smell. That unforgettable smell that I had been mercifully free of for weeks now. It hit me like a sense memory, and my stomach lurched. "Daddy," he said. His voice was flat, calm, like eerily calm. "I need to talk to you." I don't wanna. "Theodore, you can't be here. You're violating a restraining order. The police have now been called. Please leave." I need 5 minutes. "No, please. 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking. 5 minutes and then I'll leave. And you'll never see me again." There was something in the way that he said, "You'll never see me again," that made every hair on my body stand up. It wasn't a threat, exactly. It was more like a statement of fact. Like he'd decided something, and this was the final step. I mean, he could have already shot you at this point. It's still not outside the realm of possibility. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm gonna hide in the back until the police are here, okay? And I don't know what the hell OP means by final step, but it's making me very anxious, okay? "Theodore, I am asking you to leave right now, please." And that's when he lost it. Not slowly, not gradually, not cycling through emotions that I'd seen before, the hurt, anger, pity carousel. This was an instant. This was a switch being flipped. 1 second, he was standing there with that flat, dead expression, and the next second, he was screaming. "I did everything for you!" he screamed, and his voice cracked on the word everything, and spit flew from his mouth, and the entire brewery froze. "I changed for you! I cleaned my apartment! I threw away my collection! I did everything you wanted, and it's still not enough!" Theodore. "No! You don't get to talk! You had your chance to talk! You had a million chances! I gave you everything, and you treat me like I'm nothing! Like I'm garbage! Like I'm some kind of freak!" He was crying now. Big, heaving, snot-streaming sobs that shook his entire body. God damn it. Somebody really does need to get him out of here, you know? I hate to see a fucking fat man cry. The customers closest to him had backed away toward the walls. A woman near the door picked up her kid and left. Right? Why you got your kid at the brewery? She probably should have been here in the first damn place. But yeah, protect your children from this man, for sure. This is unhinged energy. A couple at a high-top table near the window were recording on their phones, because yeah, of course they fucking were. Because we live in a world where someone else's worst moment is just content. That's so real. That's why I never really got into lolcow content. Like, a lot of people want to see it and shit, but I don't really want to participate in all that. Reddit stories are nice. Anonymous, removed, we still kind of learned something. Anyway, plus 5 points to Danny for fucking nailing it. An older guy at a table near the bar stood up, slowly watching, ready to intervene if he needed to. Oh yeah, that guy open carries. Fuck yeah. Thank God he's here. Jake was on the phone, talking fast, giving the address. I could hear him spelling out the brewery name. I could hear the urgency in his voice, and it made it all real in a way that Theodore's screaming somehow was unable to. I mean, you've probably seen a man-child meltdown before, but yeah, the police are on their way. Something might bad happen before the police get there, you know? I think we should be playing this a lot more defensively, Danny, but I guess we'll see how it goes for him. Chris came out of the back office. He had heard the commotion and appeared in the doorway behind the bar with his phone already in his hand and his face set in that particular expression that managers get when they realize that some insurance paperwork might be in their near future. Theodore slammed his fists on the countertop. Glasses rattled, a pint glass tipped over, and beer spilled across the wood and onto the floor. He slammed his fists again, and a crack appeared in the finish of the bar. A literal crack. And Chris would later point to that crack when filing the property damage report. A third slam sent a bowl of peanuts flying off the counter and raining down onto the floor. Sort of like the saddest confetti in the world. Yes, this is depression-fetti. But he's literally just standing there slamming his hands. It is a man-baby tantrum. This is the clearest example of one that I think we've ever seen. Although, yeah, he's stupid strong. How did you break that fucking countertop? He's got that, like, you know, true idiot strength. He could have strangled OP with his bare hands while he was inside the apartment, throwing him in a mound of trash, never to be seen again. I'm glad we didn't have to go down that road. I think things are going to be okay in this story, maybe. If the worst that he does physically is bang his hands on the counter, I'm okay with that. That's fine. The peanuts, they'll be fine too. You think you're so much better than me, Theodore screamed. You and your friends, and your stupid brewery, and your stupid perfect life. You're not better than me. Nobody's better than me. I'm a good person. I'm a nice guy. You treated me like I was nothing. I don't know, dude, we had a fucking date, like... He gave you a chance more than basically anybody else, I'm sure. And instead of respectfully letting him walk away from a relationship that nobody wants, clearly, you're gonna come in here and throw a tantrum because he did allow you to get close that one time. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. I think Danny's one of the fucking good ones. And I think this experience has ruined him just a little bit more. You're treated like nothing because you are nothing. What have you contributed to the world? Nothing. A giant pile of trash, a disgusting apartment, and a shit-filled toilet. Whoopee-doo. I'm glad you started cleaning it up. I'm glad you threw away your collection because that is where your metamorphosis into a real human being can start. But I can't hold your hand the whole fucking way. You know what I mean? That's a ridiculous thing to assume. I gave you actionable advice. Go follow it through with somebody else because I'm not participating anymore. OP says, I was frozen. I was behind the bar with a wooden countertop between us, and I was still frozen. Not because I thought he was gonna hurt me, although I wasn't sure that he wasn't going to. Dude, that's where my mind went fucking first thing. Get a gun. But because there was something deeply, fundamentally disturbing about watching a person come completely unraveled in front of you. Whatever wall Theodore had been maintaining between himself and reality, between the version of events he'd constructed in his head and the actual truth of his life, it had finally collapsed. And the collapse of that wall was ugly and loud and wet and happening in the middle of my workplace on a Saturday afternoon in front of 30 strangers. Can we source the fucking the video that the couple took? I would love to see that. I mean, I don't want to be a ghoul or anything, but everybody does love a train wreck. It'll get some clicks. You and me, Danny, we can make this happen. I love you, Danny. He was leaning over the bar now, his face inches from mine, and I could see everything. The tears, the snot, the sweat, the beard that still had things in it, the teeth that were gray near the gum line. Oh, that's tartar.
Gingivitis.
And underneath it all, underneath the rage and the entitlement and the delusion, there was just pain. Raw, genuine, very pathetic pain. The pain of a person who never really learned how to be a person, who had never been taught how to connect and how to handle rejection, how to exist in a world without making the entire world worse for it. And for 1 second, one tiny, flickering second, I felt sorry for him again. I mean, he is a human. You know, at the end of the day, okay, I'm sorry you're hurt. I'm sorry you weren't taught how to connect, but that doesn't mean that I have to connect with you. You know, I can't connect with somebody out of sympathy. That's weird. Building onto that, I can't connect with somebody just because they gave me some money, you know? Like, that's also weird and parasocial. You connect with people who you genuinely like, and I can't control who that is. But it would help a lot. I'd probably like you a lot better if you stopped shitting in the top of your toilet tank. Like, you sold the collection and all that, but you didn't mention the tank. The thing that you're most embarrassed about. Have you stopped that? Because I think that's what's at the root of this matter. Also, OP, Jesus, you really pulled him apart as a person. What an eloquent way to put it. I've been trying to describe that this entire time and never had the words for it. And you just drop it in like 2 sentences, yeah. What I will say is, like, while you can feel sorry for him, he feeds on sympathy. You know, he's just going to use the sympathy to prop the door back open. That's how he's learned to survive. So we got to cut that part of ourselves out. Once I know who you are, that's it. You got to go now. And OP has seen it for a long, long time. Allowing him any closer is just dangerous. Even allowing him this close, like, it could have turned bad. Like I said, I hope you're aware of the consequences of what something like this means. Anyway, it was then that the police arrived. Hooray! The cavalry. 2 officers came through the front door, the one that was still propped open, and the shift in the room was immediate. Theodore saw them, and something in him just deflated, like a balloon with a leak. The screaming stopped, the slamming stopped. He just stood there. Suddenly small, despite his size, suddenly quiet, suddenly looking exactly like what he was. A sad, sick, lost person who would simply run out of road. I mean, I can't feel too bad about that either. He drove himself there. What the fuck do you want from me? Sir, we need you to come with us, one of the officers said. Professional, calm, not aggressive, just firm. Theodore didn't resist. He didn't fight. He didn't argue. He just sort of sagged. His shoulders dropped. His hands came off the bar top. He looked at me one last time, and there was so much in that look that I could write another 3 parts just about that look. But the simplest way to describe it is this. He looked at me like I was the last person on earth who could have saved him, and I had chosen not to. It's not up to me, bro. It's not up to me to fucking save you. What do you want? OP says I didn't save him. And even if I wanted to, because I don't want to, I couldn't. He would need to take that journey all by his lonesome. That wasn't my job. It was never my job. I was seeking a partner, not a dependent. It's so real, dude. Danny's humping at the bar all day, and Theodore's just sitting at home pooping in the top of the toilet. Like, really? How'd you think this was gonna work out? Ever? UpperDeckerBeard? White picket fence? In a year or less, that white picket fence is gonna have tonsil stones smeared all over it. Like, OP's out here building something beautiful for himself, and he's like, I would like somebody to come and be a part of it. And instead, fucking slug human being Theodore shows up, and he's just like, hey, nice thing you built. Can I make it worse? It would be an improvement for his situation, yes, but it's going to make yours significantly worse. And I don't think you owe anybody that. I think I've given you exactly what I was meant to give you, and now it's time to fucking move on. But yeah, good perspective, OP, for real. The officers walked Theodore out, and he went quietly. The brewery was silent as he passed through the door, and then someone near the back said, "What the hell was that?" And the whole room erupted into noise. That buzzy, electric, post-crisis chatter where everyone processes what happened by talking about it simultaneously. Jake put a hand on my shoulder. You okay? I was not okay, but I would be, eventually. The aftermath was surprisingly swift. Theodore was arrested for violating the restraining order. Because his violation involved a public disturbance, property damage, the bar top crack plus a broken pint glass, and multiple witnesses, the charges were bumped up from a simple misdemeanor. Oh, dude, you gotta do some time, Theo. That's fucked up, man, but you chose this path. Try and choose differently next time, you know? Rodriguez gave me a call the next day to tell me that Theodore had been cooperative, but very confused during processing. Like he genuinely did not understand why what he had done was wrong. He needs some psychiatric meds. Something's going on there. The officer who arrested him reported that Theodore just kept saying, but I just wanted to talk to him, over and over like a broken record. Like if he said it enough times, then eventually it would become a justification. He was assigned a public defender. There was a hearing. I didn't attend, but Rodriguez did keep me updated. Dude, fuck MVP plays, man. I'm gonna nail Rodriguez a thing of cookies this Christmas. It's the least I could do. Theodore pled no contest to the restraining order violation and the property damage, and he was sentenced to a mental health evaluation, mandatory counseling, 6 months on probation, and an extended restraining order that would last for 2 years. The judge apparently gave him a very direct speech about the difference between affection and harassment that I wish I could have heard. Rodriguez said that Theodore cried during the hearing, but quietly this time. Not the explosive, screaming, bar stop slamming kind. The tired kind. The kind that you cry when you have finally run out of fight. Yeah, and also, you go making the fucking prison all loud, slamming your fists on things. Some people might take exception to that. I think Theodore learned some valuable lessons that first night in lockup. And Obi says, I don't know what happened to Theodore after that. I don't know if he went to counseling. I don't know if it helped him. I don't know if he's still in that apartment with the tonsil stone walls and the toilet tank situation. Part of me hopes that he got help. Part of me hopes that someone finally taught him the things that he should have been taught years ago. Things about hygiene and boundaries and how to exist without terrorizing the people around you. And another part of me, the part that still checks over his shoulder in parking lots, doesn't really care what happened to him, as long as all of it happened far away from me. And yeah, that seems to be the case. Chris filed a report for the property damage, and Theodore, or more likely Theodore's situation, since I really doubt that man had any money, and they were ordered to pay for restitution. Yeah, by stamping license plates. Chris also formally banned him from the brewery, complete with a printed notice with Theodore's photo that went up in the back office. Jake laminated it. Jake is a good friend. I mean, it seems like you got a decent support system at the bar, you know? In the weeks that followed, things got quiet. Like, actually quiet. Not the tense pre-storm quiet of before, but real quiet. The quiet of something actually being over. No messages, no profiles, no emails, no letters, no barefoot men in my doorway, just silence. Beautiful, boring, wonderful silence. I kept the documentation folder, and I held on to it for a long time. Marissa said I should throw it away, and that keeping it is holding on to the trauma. My therapist said I could throw it away, but only once I'm ready and not before. The saga is the completion of my cleansing ritual. The posting of this last part marks my crossing of the barrier. I don't need a stack of legal paperwork to remember that I handled it. I got through it. I built the case and filed the paperwork and stood behind that bar and told him to leave. And I didn't flinch or break. I fucking love that for you, dude. A better me was emerging, and I'd like to thank Reddx for a lot of that growth. Oh, fuck you. Thank you. I couldn't be here without you guys. I'll say that. You're making me fucking get all schmutzy, you know? My eyes are watering up. To think that I had fucking any part of you defending yourself it's ridiculous. Maybe I was there in your brain a little bit, but you're the one that took all of those actions all by yourself, okay? I don't want the credit. I don't need the credit. Although I appreciate you saying so. Whether or not he'll read this makes no difference. Yeah, I couldn't resist. I wrote and posted all of this for me. Red might help me unpack some of the trauma and pack it with absurdity instead. Here's to hoping, anyways. We do tend to do that. I hope that it was enough to lift this thing out of, like, the fucking depths of despair. Because it does go to some really dark places, man. I was legit scared for a minute there. Like, I know you survive. Obviously, you're writing the thing. But I don't know, people take a gunshot wound to the chest and survive all the time. So, I don't know. I don't know what to fucking think. Except I'm grateful you're still here and part of the channel and writing fucking amazing stuff. This is an amazing story. So good. It's been about 2 months since the brewery incident now, and I want to wrap this up by being honest about some things. First, I don't hate Theodore. I know that might be weird to hear after 3 parts of me describing him as a walking biohazard, and to be clear, he's definitely a walking biohazard. But hatred requires energy that I don't want to spend on him anymore. What I feel mostly is a complicated kind of sadness. Because somewhere underneath the tonsil stones and the toilet tank and the anime body pillows and the stocking, there was a person who wanted to be loved and had absolutely no idea how to make that happen. None of that excuses what he did, of course. Not one little bit. What he did was criminal and scary and wrong. But understanding why someone does something isn't the same as excusing it. And I think the reason Theodore ended up where he ended up is that nobody in his entire life taught him how to be a person. Nobody taught him about hygiene, boundaries, how to handle rejection, how to exist in relation to other people. He built his entire social framework out of anime and Discord servers and pickup artists forums, and none of those things mentally prepared him for reality. When reality showed up and didn't match the script in his head, he completely broke. Yeah, so is it Theodore's failing, really? Yes, directly, but indirectly, like, where are his fucking parents? What's going on there? There have been people that failed him. I'll guarantee that much. Again, none of it excuses what he did. OP says, none of that is my fault. That was never my fault, but I mean, you know, it is still pretty sad. Yeah, it's fucked up. There's really not even that much you can do about it except throw your hands up and say that's fucked up. I can't fix it for you, Theodore. We have the information of the world at our fingertips. Get on Wikipedia and learn something, why don't you? Secondly, I want to talk about what this experience did to me, because I don't want anyone reading this to think that I just bounced back like nothing happened, because I didn't. For weeks after the brewery incident, I had nightmares. I'd dream about opening my front door and Theodore would be there. And I'd dream about the apartment and the hallway of tonsil stones, lifting up that toilet tank lid. Okay, but you did that last one to yourself, okay? Curiosity does need to have limits. OP says, I would wake up at 3 a.m. and check my locks and look out the window and sit in the dark, waiting for my heartbeat to slow down. I started therapy, which honestly I should have started sooner. I'm still in therapy and it is helping. I mean, it can definitely help you get through some shit. That's what I'll say. But you want a therapist that challenges you a little bit, or at least I do. A lot of therapists are just overpaid enablers at this point, but that's a story for another day. OP says, stalking does something to your sense of safety that's hard to explain to people who haven't experienced it. It's not like being scared of a specific thing, like heights or spiders. It's this ambient, low-level dread that follows you everywhere. It's checking over your shoulder when you walk to your car. It's tensing up when a notification pops up on your phone. It's that half second of panic when someone knocks on your door unexpectedly. The fear isn't about that person anymore. It's about the vulnerability. It's about the realization that someone was able to insert themselves into every part of your life, and even though they're gone now, the holes that they came through are still there. Yeah, somebody else might leak through. I hate that, dude. Now you're getting in my head. What the fuck? It gets better, though. I do want to be clear about that. It gets better. But it takes time and work and a good therapist and good friends. Speaking of good friends, Marissa, if you're reading this, and I know you are because you've been refreshing the sub every hour waiting for part 3, well, thank you. You were right about everything. Every single thing. From the very first block him right now text, to the night that you made me stay at your place, to the morning that you drove me to the police station, you were the voice of reason when I was determined to be unreasonable. I owe you a lot more than cheap wine and pizza. I mean, another cheap wine and pizza would probably balance the scales a little more. I owe you approximately 1 million favors, and also my firstborn child, if I ever have one. Which honestly, after this experience, I might just get a dog instead. Is that a joke? Are you bi, Danny? What is that? The firstborn child that I adopt, you can have it. Oh, okay. Neat. I'm not sure what to think of all that. Jake, Sam, Devin, and Chris, you guys formed a wall around me when I needed one. The group chat during the worst of it, the nights at Marissa's, the fact that Jake literally laminated a photo of a band customer and hung it on a wall with a ceremony. Those things mattered more than you know. Officer Rodriguez, who took me seriously from day one, even when the law wouldn't let him do much about it. Thank you. You made me feel like I wasn't crazy, and that was worth everything. It's between Rodriguez and Marissa for MVP of this story. You guys should let me know down in the comments. Also, sign up on the Patreon or the YouTube memberships while you're down there. I'd appreciate that a heck of a lot. Third and finally, Reddx himself. Yeah, just when I got the Patreon plugin. Whoops. I posted all of this at once, so I couldn't change my mind, and that means no back and forth with the OP. That's okay. I don't want to make things weird. I guess it can get a little weird, but I would like to see more things from you, if I may request that much. It's like really, really good reads. Is this what you're doing behind the bar when things are slow? I will just say you've done your part in keeping my mind off my own personal nightmare as it was happening. Long before it happened, you prepared me for it without my knowledge of what was to come. You might not think that you change people with your content, I've heard you say as much on a live stream once. But I'm here to tell you that I wouldn't have made it through any of this without the spine-strengthening effects of Reddx Industries. You're gonna make me all mushy again, you know? I really do appreciate the hell out of that, man. We're definitely doing the best that we can. YouTube has definitely changed a lot in 6 years, and the fact that we're still here doing the same thing, it's a testament to the community that we've built together. And it wasn't just me, okay? I'm the one that shows up every day, sure. You guys have the option to leave, but if nobody shows up, then why would I show up? You know? So it's a symbiosis there. I do always get a little weird, uncomfortable when people, you know, tell me that the content's life-changing, because to me it's stories about, you know, men with poopy pants and whatnot, but I do try to tuck a little, you know, actual advice in there, and what I can say is thank you very much, and I'm glad it helps. I'd like to continue helping for the foreseeable future. I mentioned Patreon and memberships already. Maybe podcasts. You can check us out on Spotify and iTunes, eh? We've also got a fourth wall for the merch. Waifu Pilled on Steam. Did I ADHD on Google Play. As well as Spin It ADHD on Google Play. All of those are things we're working on, just if you wanted to support the channel. There's like 30 people that have it installed, and I know they're hardcore Reddx users. Or people who actually like the product. Like, I do hope for that. But you never can tell, you know? The only reason that we got this far was lots of market testing and whatnot. That's iterative market testing over the course of like half a decade. One video a day. Change a little thing about it. But I'm glad you're still here, still riding with me, you know? And it might have been able to help you out of this situation, and that's fucking the best thing I could ask for. But next time, duck behind the counter, please. Okay? Can you promise me? And OP also has advice to anyone in a similar circumstance. Document everything. Save every message, every email, every interaction. Note dates and times and locations, and build your folder. I know it feels pointless. I know it feels like collecting evidence for a crime that nobody thinks is a crime, but do it anyway. Because when the escalation comes, and if you're dealing with someone like Theodore, it probably will come, that folder becomes your weapon. That folder is what turns he said, she said into, well, here are 17 fake profiles, 47 messages, a handwritten letter, and a surveillance confession email, and also a previous police report. That folder is what got me a restraining order. That folder is what made a judge take this situation seriously. Yeah, big ups to the judge, too. We never got to meet him, but the one that put him away and the one that granted the restraining order. Tip of the hat, not a fedora. OP says, tell people. Tell your friends, coworkers, boss, family. Like, I know it's embarrassing. I know there's a part that thinks you should be able to handle it on your own, or that talking about it makes it more real. But so what? Talk about it anyway. The people in your life can't protect you if they don't know that there's something to protect you from. And go to the police. Even if you think they won't do anything, even if the first visit is frustrating and you walk out feeling like nothing was accomplished, just go. Start the paper trail, because the paper trail is what really matters in the end. All of this is good advice. I don't plan on ever finding myself in this situation, but if you do, Danny knows what to do. You are not crazy. You're not overreacting. You're not too sensitive or making a big deal out of nothing. If someone's making you feel unsafe, that's enough. That's the whole bar. You don't need to wait for it to get worse in order to deserve help. Okay, I think that's everything. Good job, you nailed it. The saga of UpperDeckerBeard is over. I'm gonna close this laptop, pour myself a beer from a glass that I personally washed, on a bar top that has since been refinished, in a brewery that is blessedly free of fedoras, and I'll try to enjoy the quiet. Dude, you do write these at work. Holy shit. That's the best job ever. Just type things up until it gets busy and then you teleport 3 hours. You got it figured out, Danny. He got the friend group and everything. No firstborn child yet, but we'll dog-ear that one for later. And, thank you for reading. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the laughs, because honestly, being able to laugh about this with thousands of strangers on the internet has been its own kind of therapy. Yeah, big ups to you, man. I mean, just getting through the whole thing is strong enough, but OP decided he wanted to, you know, give some advice to people who might also deal with situations like this. And, like, I couldn't give that advice. I've never fucking experienced it, so I'm glad. A little long-winded. Just a side note, but I am glad. Stay safe out there. And if a guy on Grindr calls himself Gentle Sir anything, I'm begging you, swipe left. TLDR, UpperDeckerBeard escalated to physical surveillance and admitted in a deranged email, and I went back to the police with a massive documentation folder and got a restraining order. And 2 weeks later, he showed up barefoot at my brewery and had a full nuclear meltdown in front of 30 customers. He cracked the bar top and got arrested. He was sentenced to a mandatory counseling probation and 2-year restraining order. I'm in therapy now and doing better. Document everything, tell people, and trust your gut. That's all, folks. Danny out. Fucking Danny. Fucking Danny. What a cool dude, Danny. We love you, Danny. I hope he'll come back for some more like this. This saga had it all. Holy shit. Overall, just bangers. No notes. Only thing left to wrap it up is see how the Gubbins is feeling and award some points.
He not creep, he lawyer. He think dating like install Adobe Reader. You click I agree, and then he get access to all your personal folders. This man just making sure she follow user agreement for his love, which include mandatory cuddle and no block button. Very professional. CEO of Cringe, Gubbins.
OP's a guy, Gubbins.
He weaponizes the language of bureaucracy to mask a fundamental inability to perceive consent. In his withered psyche, a user agreement is the only way to force a woman to stay, because he knows no one would ever stay voluntarily. Dark Gubbins.
Damn, one builds on top of the other. Dark Gubbins said this, and Dark Gubbins is like, let me layer one on top of that. So the point's gotta go to Dark Gubbins. He's got the advantage because he goes second, but also I love his fucking victory music. Sick shit. We did it, boys. Congratulations, another saga in the bag, everybody. Sign up on Patreon, YouTube memberships, podcast services, fourth wall for the merch, all the things that I programmed, etc., etc. Most of all, most importantly, friends, please remember that you are loved, you are worthy, you definitely deserve it, and I shall see you in the next one. So until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for calling Reddx Industries. Your call is very important to us. Please hold on the line while we decontaminate the lab.